It's Wednesday. There's only one thing that means. It's Conqueror time, baby. It's week one. It's Lamb and Crims. And we're bringing you all the action between the two teams on tonight. It's EDE, who were the winners of the Invitational Tournament, by the way, not to be
Yeah.
messed with. And another reoccurring team, Timeless Harmony. They're back, Crimson, ready to make a statement.
Yeah, if you did watch our last broadcast, you would be very familiar with Team EDE. However, Timeless Harmony did miss out on that little tournament there. So, if you're new this season, this is going to be fresh team for you to see here. Otherwise, EDE, I think we know what their deal is. We'll see if they keep the scaling up throughout this season, but that's exactly what they did in the Invitational. And I'm thinking, why are they going to change a good thing while it's still good?
I already mentioned this, Crims, but Taylor Swift back in action, the real one.
Yeah.
I believe it's the 123rd in the lineage, but regardless, it's still Taylor Swift blessing us in Titan on a nice Wednesday evening. And one thing we can say for sure, just to kind of recap how the season is going to go, it was already explained in I believe there was a show that everybody tuned into. Lamb wasn't there because Lamb was working, unfortunately, but I got the deets before we went live. 10 weeks of League of Legends action in the Conqueror. Of course, 7 weeks Crims is going to be that regular season. And then, most importantly, 3 weeks is going to be that all important playoffs that everybody wants to be a part of.
Of course, you don't want to be missing out on playoffs here. And as well, last finals, there was a special guest appearance in the chat by Captain Flowers. Don't you want Captain Flowers to watch you playing League of Legends, Lamb?
I mean, we're well connected. What can we say here over in Titan? Big. I heard that Clayton is a big fan of the whole league, so maybe he'll make another reoccurrence. Who knows? Maybe we need to tweet him about 1,000 times before that
Yeah,
happens
yeah,
again. But
yeah.
regardless, you miss all the shots you don't take, Crims.
100%. If you don't have the guts to go for it, then it's never going to happen in the first place. And that's going to translate to getting someone on this stream as well as in this game here, Lamb. I'm about ready to hop into this and just see our first game of the league. Lamb, this is week one, game one.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because the draft is already underway that quickly. And EDE, they lock in Udyr without hesitation. Just a quick recap on the bans. Mark Isaac going to be taken away. These are highly contested picks in the meta right now. Extremely difficult to play against. Me and Crim's actually seen Zach in the top lane as an answer to Kisanti. So taking that one away leaves Kisanti on the board. And interestingly enough, that's not going to be picked up by TLH, but Nyla is.
That is an interesting blind pick here. The Nyla, I think, is very counterable. Does end up being a very strong duelist in the mid to late game and has a very good team fight ultimate. But playing that into Udyr, I'm thinking maybe TLH have a specific plan in mind. But this is definitely something out of the ordinary. They're going to pair with a Sejuani. I wonder if they're flexing it, Lamb. Is this a Nyla Sejuani bot lane flex? I'm thinking it is. Otherwise, Sejuani very strong in the jungle.
And Nyla extremely strong wherever she takes to the rift right now as well. Sejani normally paired with Kisante top because you have so much lockdown potential, right? So maybe that's a little bit of a missed window. Maybe they're more keen on taking that Nyla. That Udyr being locked in will probably confirm that that's going to go to the jungle. So that top lane, oh, ha, 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 ha. For opening day, that's what I
Okay.
like to see here, Crims, a Liga Draven.
Draven is going to be a very strong bot laner here. Playing into the Nyla, though, short range is going to be able to give Nyla the opportunity for that engage. And there's one thing that Nyla does really well, and it's blocking auto attacks while she engages on you. So I think Draven going to have a tough time. Silas picked up here. That's going to be a very strong mid lane jungle combo if they go for it. And not only to mention, Silas can steal the Seraphine ultimate here. He can do a bit of singing on his own. And that is going to be a strong combo that they can unleash with the Sejuani.
Well, I really like Timeless Harmony's draft so far. Haven't seen a Nyla in a while, so it's going to pair really well when you think of champions like Sejani, when you think of champions like Silas, who like that close engage, the chains coming back in, can't steal that encore from the Seraphine as well. Also important, you can say that that's probably the high priority thus far in the draft for EDE, for the hijack to actually go on to the Seraphine. But again, that Seraphine can be flexed, right? It can go with the support role where technically you don't really like to see it, right? You like to see it in a carry position, and ultimately, that might mean that that will be a mid Seraphine now that that Draven is locked in as well. But how do they kind of round off this draft now, Crims, for EDE? And I can say the same about TLH because as it stands right now, they're still waiting to pick the top laners. And it's really interesting that they actually picked both the mids already.
I think they're doing a bit of flexing here. Silas definitely is going to be more slotted in that mid, and they banned the Zillion in this instance here. So interesting, more flexes on flexes being removed. They do think that Seraphine's going in the mid lane, or they want to secure it in the mid lane with that Renata ban there. And the Soraka is going to be removed. I think that Nyla Soraka is not that good. I think it's better to pair with double engage, but that would mean 4 melee champions, and that is something you can definitely counter for here. They're going to go ahead and pick up the Ornn in the top
Oh,
side.
wow.
That's going to give them a lot of engage. There's a ton of engage on Timeless Harmony here, and they're all melee short range, so they need that engage to get in and deal damage. For the side of EDE, they need to get some peeling going down. Seraphine's okay, but they're going to need a little bit more. Braum is definitely one of those peeling champions. So Seraphine
Kasante.
mid lane, Cassante for the dueling, and Braum's going to add extra peeling capabilities with the ultimate. So EDE have rounded out their comp. They're going the scale factor with the Seraphine. Draven does need to get ahead. I think that's the one lane that they play to, but EDE, that's their comp there. Straight front to back, they have peel, they have some backline damage dealers, and they're going to scale with the Seraphine.
Well, this is incredibly exciting for emotional damage
Oh.
energy as Sona is locked in. We'll talk about that in just a second. But the fact that they have prioritized that Draven on Taylor Swift. Now, I want to take everybody back to that invitational, which was so exciting. We really seen the highlight of what this AD carry can offer to EDE, and they've kind of drafted around to make sure that this Draven is going to take off in this game, right? The Udyr is definitely going to pair well with the Cassante as well. And you kind of look at the comparison in terms of going with the Sejani and the Kisante, the fact that Sejani was already prioritized, you can answer that by first picking the Udyr, right? And you can make an argument that Udyr can be a little bit more useful in teamfights than Sejani, but I feel like that priority on the Sejani is much higher as it stands right now. But for EDE, the Draven on the big carry in the AD carry position is so exciting, and I'm expecting big things from Tate in this one.
Tete was a hard carry. And this time I'm going to go for a more lane dominant style. So we'll see the Draven here with the Braum. Very much needs to take control of that bot side. Nyla Sona, not something that really screams a strong bot lane. They're going to just be aiming to scale. Of course, Nyla, once they hit level 6, they have a pretty nasty combo. But that's not something a Braum shield can't stop.
So is this Draven the answer to Nyla? Because if that lane goes sideways at all, and Nyla falls behind down there with the Sona, now Sona is actually a pretty good answer to, I guess you could say, Brom. Brom can put up that shield and negate a lot of damage, but really you're going for the sustain with Nyla, and she gets that in her kit as well. But how do you see that lane going down there, Crims? Because it's going to be very volatile, and once both junglers are actually involved in that, we're going to see explosive things happening.
So for a normal lane, you would say the range enchanter is going to win, but this one's very awkward because we have Draven Braum. And I think Draven Braum does excellently into Nyla. She's shorter range. If she tries to jump onto the Draven, Braum is there to disengage. And once they get the stacks for the Braum passive, that's going to be a huge turnaround as well. Of course, Nyla can delay that by blocking autos. But it's that level 6 where Nyla Sona have the turnaround potential with the Wombo. But even then, I think this is going to be Draven Braum dominated lane, even though it has a melee in the Braum. So I think that's how that's going to go on the bot side. Look for Tay Swift to try to take over bot side here early, and they can definitely focus the Sona if they don't get their hands on Nyla.
Oh, and these team fights are going to be something else as well. It's going to be explosions all around. The amount of engage, we already kind of highlighted that Timeless Harmony, they have such great engage. They have such a good setup for Nyla. Close range combat is what this team want, as well as sustain, which they have in the Sona. And remember, guys, these were in last season in the Gladiator League. They didn't make the playoffs in that shortened split. They actually went 1-3. They finished fifth. And now they're looking to try and correct that. And what a way to correct it on the first day of Conqueror Crims and drafting a composition like this.
It's very aggressive, and I want to see their aggression level match in the game. They have to make early game plays in that mid lane. They have the Sedge Silas combo against the Seraphine. That's a kill, if you ask me. Gotta make sure Ornn is going to stay alive. But once that mid game rolls around, I want to see plays after plays after plays from this team. They need to get in there. They need to rock the boat of emotional damage here. They have plenty of engage. They can't sit around because they have absolutely no range. There's no sieging from this team. We're not going to see them walk up to a turret and take it. They have to kill. They need blood to win.
Well, I was going to say this might be the first time we're not going to see Cassante get buried. That's what I got to say about that because, of course, Cassante is going to be on this game. When is he not? He's such a force to be reckoned with, even behind in the lane. But everything is going to come to fruition in game one. We're going to catch a small break. But when we come back, it's week one, day one. It's emotional damage energy against Timeless Harmony right after this. winners of the Invitational EDE find themselves up against TLH, making a comeback in a new division in the Titan Esports League here, Crims. And they're looking to right the wrongs of last season. They want to try and be up there, and you have to get off to a good start in this league because it's so damn competitive.
Yeah, EDE though, let's remember, didn't lose a game. Now, let's be honest, there were some games that they should have lost. There were some games that were very close to losing, but they clutched it in the end every time in that invitational. 4-0. Nothing to scoff at, of course. So right now, maybe looking like they are the team to beat, and TLH have that opportunity to show themselves that they are a top team in this division. So excited to see if they can pull that off. I mean, if they have a close game regardless, I think that would show that they're also a top team.
Well,
So-
7 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
So if you're going to iron any of the creases out, now is the time to do it. Week 1, you either get off to a really good start, you at least make sure that the game goes close. You don't want to get run over, because as soon as you get run over, that big thing called the mental becomes threatened going forward, and your ability to actually reset that Crims, you know, it differentiates between individuals. Everybody takes a loss differently. I know personally I'm a born winner, baby, so I want to win everything that I compete in.
Of course. I feel like you shouldn't even be here if you're not a born winner.
There
So
we
I
go.
want tensions high. I want the flames are on. That's how I like my teams. I like my teammates flaming everyone, each other. Great environment to be in the kitchen. As we have Udyr and Sejuani both pathing bottom. But look at this slam. Mundo has decided to skip a camp. And that makes a lot of sense because Udyr is going to clear faster than you. But he's probably going to be there level 4 and you are not.
Wow, that's so intelligent actually from
Yeah,
Dogman. Wow, what a play to find out where Sejuani is. So they know that Sej didn't clear that full topside red jungle with the intelligence from Dogman. That little bit of macro this early on in the game has paid huge for his team. And now look, they're forcing Mundo OP out the jungle right now.
That is very good gameplay. They have the push from the bot side. They're going to pull in. I think it was a bit early. Now they're getting a bit surrounded. Do they have it, though?
Allow power. Yeah, he has to flash to get out of that one. They're just joysting for the positioning right now, and ultimately Sejuani won't fall any further behind, even though Masho has a level above the opposing jungler in this one. So we'll get the blue buff. We'll be spotted again on the Warden. Such deep and aggressive wards already coming through from the invitational winners here.
Yeah, they want to be inflicting that mental damage right now. And Mundo is going to be thinking about these invades. Don't think they can go for that Scuttle Crab, so they're going to have to give it up back early, probably pick up Grump, and then pick up the Scuttle Crab on the other side if you have enough time. Looks like that's going to be the game plan. Meanwhile, Mashop going to be picking up that Scuttle and hitting level 4 first here. So far, no gank, but they did get that flash in the mid lane from Alu. So that's going to be a good look for them. Going to give Dogman more room to play safely here. But that man was on a mission to get that deep ward.
Mission successful thus far. And you can see those small wards are now timing out. So Sejuani will return to that Fogger ward gameplay. But they should know that the Krogs were still up. So good chance that if they are tracking where this jungler is going to be spotted in that red top side right now is Pally in full control with his lane. Just trying to shove this in. I believe it's in a frozen state though. So San Cyrano is doing not so bad against the K'Sante nice and early. Still hasn't backed yet, and Sejuani is making the wraparound. Flash forward. Gonna disassociate both of the bot laners there, but no damage because that's a Sona. That's actually a good juke from Pally. Can he get the permafrost? Yes, he does. A little bit too late, but does get the flash out with K'Sante.
I do want to point out, bottom lane, that was a burned flash for nothing. Tay Swift playing a little bit too hyphy. And meanwhile, topside Pally loses the flash. The Sejuani gank power sends him away, even if he is on K'Sante. There is no level 6, so no way to split that into 2 1v1s instead. Dragon's up. I don't think anyone's going to take it right now, but that bot lane flash is what I'm looking here, is the most important thing that happened on the map so far. If Mundo comes down and they have that Sedge passive on Nyla, Taylor Swift, even with the Braum, I think will fall in a gank. So gonna have to pay attention to Mundo's pathing. I think that's the play. If they got the push into the turret so they can back here, and now that's been completely negated.
Answering back, Ryonatsu collects the rest of that wave, but Draven does have the CS lead, and there's only one phrase that's going to happen down there in the bot lane if it continues, and that is the League of Draven. Those stacks are going to be so important to cash in on, because if you get reset here, Crims, he's currently sitting on, Taylor is currently sitting on 98 stacks of adoration right now, so as soon as they get cashed in, it's going to accelerate the Draven, and that big carry, that individual that's in that AD carry position, that's somebody that you have to try and make that happen for. So you want to see Masho maybe make his way down there, and with the dragon on the board, that's always a possibility.
They could get that bait at the dragon fight into a beautiful execution for the Draven. Bit risky, but hey, emotional damage. If they're trying to turn on the Jets, that could be a play they're going for here. I see a lot of people congregating in that dragon. Maybe that fortune teller lamb coming true right here.
A little bit of color casting coming out. Don't mind me. We do it all on the desk. Even my friend here, my colleague, does a mean play-by-play. Maybe we'll let you get the next one. Actually, there's been no action yet, Grims. Forget about it. San Sireno under pressure again in the top side, but the Ornn is going to be feeling good about this lane state.
Is it San Sireno or is it San Sereno?
Okay, not color casting no more.
I'm just... Okay, San Sereno makes more sense here. You know what? I understand, Lamb. It's sometimes words are hard to read.
Part.
Just say the 34. You know, let's avoid 34 as a number. I think that might be a good idea.
34 is the bad one?
34 is a bad one. It's a bad one. You know, you may be neutral. Maybe neutral.
Completely oblivious.
Think about it. All right. Anyway, we're going to go ahead, continue with this game, as Lamb doesn't really understand internet numbers for some reason.
Nope.
As we have a show clearing away.
I can relate to.
It's not leet speak. That's completely different.
All right. Lamb is old, guys. Lamb doesn't get it.
Do the Zoomers know what leet speak is? Oh, here we go. Wait a minute.
Mid gank is Encore lands on the Alu power. Remember, that flash is just about to come up. So unlucky, but perfectly timed. First blood goes over to Masho.
All right, this game keeping us on our toes there. Masho kind of just sped up the mid lane in the bear stance and just slammed Alu right in the face, and that led to a beautiful encore. I guess he wasn't expecting it either. Caught him off by surprise, and the first gank is in the mid lane, and it is successful for EDE. It looks like they're setting themselves up for a nice little Rift Herald, so that's going to play into the snowballing aspect. I hope they send a bot, because that's where they need most of their money discrepancy on this Draven. Taylor Swift has the kit for it here. Top side, it's going to be even, and now Dogman has to dodge a gank.
Flash for flash.
That is interesting. Didn't want to do the Q. Didn't want to do the Sedge jump flash instead, as we have this going to be uncontested Rift Herald. You know, for a bot lane that was so spicy, Lamb, this is quite a calm game.
Well, it's just a casual 1,300 gold lead for EDE. You can see that represented in the CS numbers, in that mid and AD carry position, even in the support position.
Mundo.
Braum getting in on it. Sejani is level 6, but Glacial Prison used to get Seraphine's flash from the mid lane, which means there'll be no full commitment by Mundo, but he goes down to 50% HP, potentially setting up a dive, but Whirling
I don't think
Death
they go
will
for
clear
it.
the wave. Yeah, very interesting strat there, almost desperation coming out. Dragon 230 away, and Shelly did go over to the Udyr, so Masho picks that one up, even though we see that potential dive bottom, but ultimately nothing happens down there.
It's pretty tough to dive a Braum, and I don't recommend doing it too often, especially when they basically are at full HP. I know Taylor Swift's low mana, but Draven doesn't need that much mana to operate in a turret dive situation there. So I guess they need help on the wave land. They're just getting their jungler to help them push it in, and that's going to save them a gank or two from a show who was definitely on that bot side.
Report that blue buff. Or is that Grom?
Yeah.
It's Grom. Yeah, report
It was
Grom.
Grom. It was Grom. So far, the real Natsu behind 15 CS, but has 43 stacks left on the cull here. So all in all, might just be pretty preferable lane state here for the side of HL or Timeless Harmony here. As yeah, I don't think much is happening. I was expecting a lot more.
A very respectable opener. Both teams just finding their feet. You could say Crims, like I said, that goal lead now at 1500, so it's gone up a little bit. And so far through the laning phase, EDE are seeing a little bit of
Oh,
success,
this
and
is
they're
gonna be a
getting rewarded for that.
3v3.
Yeah,
Look at
Mundo
this
is
setup
waiting.
here.
That's a lot of time for the Sejani as well. It's going to get spotted out by the Oracle. They'll drop onto the Brom, turn it back around. The target
Oh, it got
selection is going to be
blocked.
questionable. There goes the shield up by Mundo. He's still there. Glacial Fissure comes out. It doesn't matter. He's spinning axes. He's Draven. He's benching. He's lifting. And he's collecting a potential triple here. He's cashing in all over the bot lane. But Sona will get away. Triple kill for Taylor Swift.
Oh, the action. It was just a calm before the storm there. And what a fight that was. EDE, though, they take it handily, and they get kills exactly where they need them. 3 right onto Taylor Swift on the Draven. Cashes in the Adoration stack as well. And that's just going to be a cool 2k gold lead at 11 minutes just on your Draven alone. And man, what did I say about the Braum blocking the Sona ultimate? That was a little bit of a crystal ball of my own, Lamb. I don't usually pull those out, but it does happen every once in a while.
He borrowed it from me. That's what happened with that one. But I do want to say, just like that, Crims, the goal lead just ballooned to 5k, 4,000 gold, and the majority of that gold went over to the Draven. He is looking so good in this game. Taylor Swift, 123rd in the lineage. Hopefully that number's okay to say.
That one's fine.
There's 123 on the AD carry, and then on Alu Power we've got 125. We've got a lot in the 120s in this game.
All right. Well, they did win that bot side, but they lost tempo on the Dragon. I think that's pretty good for Harmony to pick that up here. Sansarino, though, might have a kill. Pally dropping quite low. The ultimate.
Threat. Oh, the call has gone out. Good flash to get away, but the Brittle proc is there.
Double
Grass
stun
goes out as well. Bellows breath. Good night, Vienna, as Kisante falls in the 1v1 against Ornn.
Yeah, the Ornn picking up the kill against Pally on Kisante. Definitely not the matchup that I would expect to be going for, and this is exactly where they're dropping that Rifthold. Right where I want it, but they have to watch out for the flank. Dogman not going to be able to be here. This is a 4v3.
No, Natsu's following this up as well, and Braum ultimate was stolen. Hijack on the Silas, going to get a Glacial Fissure for himself out. Is Natsu going to do about 25% health? Whirling Death goes out, but doesn't claim the kill. Nyla actually doing things here instead. The real Natsu looking to take over this team fight. Power gets changed back in, looks up Tete, and gets the shutdown on the Draven. Gets slowed down by Dogman. Encore lands, pulls back the Silas, and those chains are going to be locked up once again as the mid laner drops.
So the Rift Herald does get the crash, and the plates were distributed. However, they do lose that fight, and I have to say Taylor Swift was kind of hungry for blood, a little too greedy on the back end of that. All being said, if Dogman was there like 3 seconds sooner, Lamb, that could have been an absolute disaster for Timeless Harmony. Luckily, though, because of the plays in the past, they do get that opportunity, and now the game's looking a little closer. But there's still a lot of gold lead that needs to be undone.
4,300 is that gold lead. As this game is slowly making its way to that midpoint, but just as we said, there was no action. I believe for the first 8 minutes of the game, now it's exploded. 8 kills. Still not quite up there with being that busy, but we're certainly seeing more plays and threats going along. That's a 2-level lead in the top lane for the Ornn. There is Masho. Blazing Stampede onto the Ornn. He's a tanky boy. Actually just completed Jack Show as well. It's going to be backed up by his own jungler as Mundo OP comes in, but that's just to get the jungler off of his top laner, and Ornn will feel good about that. He's chugging on that refillable.
Sansarino, 2 levels up on Pally right now. I'm sure that's just a little bit of a level discrepancy. The EXP will definitely start evening out once they pick up more waves. That was a huge double Q chunk from the bot lane. Real Natsu, though, on this Nyla has healing built in the kit plus the Sona. Interesting to see here if the Sona does end up scaling into this game. Has huge amounts of heals if you can get into that late game state. Even can out heal the Seraphine, surprising as it may sound. So we will see if this Sona ends up being the winning factor in the late game. Meanwhile, though, Nyla Engage doesn't come through.
Wow.
The Braum providing so much protection, and Sornad's doing an excellent job.
Silas. Oh, Griff went too far forward. Whirling Death out. Actually still spinning.
Encore from the
Can he
side.
get
Double
it?
encore.
Encore followed up. There's Macho and Dogman following up. They're going to trade over 1-for-1. Glacial Prison lands across the wall, but Alu will get out of there again. That turret is so low. They need to keep on retreating here. They're in trouble. Did you see EDE flexing their muscles as they collapse on that?
Yeah, the Silas flank almost did them in. However, Dogman with a double encore crossing there does end up saving the play. They get that turret, very importantly, and now they can start working on mid-turret. They're going to steal away, and rightly so, they earned it from Mundo. This man taking a beating in the jungle, not getting his camps. But I have to say, the Braum pick, as I was rudely interrupted, Lamb, is so good right now in this game. Sornad's playing it perfectly as well.
Not died just yet. The perfect game does still exist for two members of ADE, actually. It's not just the Braum, but Seraphine yet to fall in this one, and Dogman does pick up that Leandri's Anguish as we approach that 17-minute mark. Two dragons to the goods, though, is Timeless Harmony, so certainly they're revolving their win condition around those Drakes. Not really the story of how that bot lane has gone, and really Nyla is trying to get to that Ravenous, I believe, will be the first item that she will complete. She's not far off of it, actually has 1,000 gold in the inventory, so need to funnel a little bit more gold into the AD carry, but the team is rallying around the second herald of the game. Good call.
So yes, so far the teams have traded Heralds and the Dragons, surprisingly though, because Taylor Swift and Sornads are the stronger bot lane. Alu Power wants to fight.
Oh, that's a
Doesn't get one.
miss from Dogman. Unlucky with the encore there. They don't see Sejani.
Oh!
They land the Glacial Presence. Seraphine is going to be shut down by Nyla as she goes in. Now we're seeing the slipstream open up in the south side of the river for that AD carry. Macho going low, 10% on him. He gets dropped by the Sona. It's Soranad's the next focus of the team. Bellows Breath doesn't have enough to get it, but San Sereno will get them out of there, and they will make sure that that dragon's going to go and contest the Taylor Swift. So brave with that. No chains available for Alu Power, but it doesn't matter. Third dragon of the game looks to be going to Timeless Harmony as they reach Soul Point.
Now Timeless Harmony looking pretty threatening on this dragon. They've shrunken the gold lead just a bit. And that pick on the Seraphine, absolute thing of beauty. Mundo landing the Glacial Prison from a distance, and everyone piling in for the kill. That being said,
Sonar.
Taylor Swift still did a ton of team fight damage.
Oh
look
my
at that dodge.
God. Taylor
Alu.
Swift, look at the confidence. This is why it's Captain Fantastic. Taylor Swift goes huge again and steals this spotlight. We're going to be mentioning this guy's name throughout the whole 10 weeks of this league. I guarantee it. Is now they're sieging in that mid lane.
EDE are riding on the hopes of Taylor Swift in this one. I have to say, despite the last team fights, was able to survive and deal out the damage. So can't count out EDE in these team fights just yet, especially if Dogman is alive. And this Braum peel is massive for them right now. San Sereno is looking good on the top side, is handling this 1v1. So they lost that power of the Cassante. For the side of EDE, they're going to just have to look towards the scaling of Seraphine and Taylor Swift. Meanwhile, Timeless, they have the pick potential. Seraphine's a sitting duck. And look at this dive. They don't have their Nyla.
Just passing on through there. Nothing to be seen. Is Mundo OP throughout the Glacial Prison. Doesn't land on anything, and Dogman will return some friendly fire. All it seems, it doesn't hit anybody, and we don't see any objectives here apart from the Baron in 20 seconds. This would be a brave attempt, but you feel as though if EDE are to kind of grasp this game and start taking over these turrets that are remaining, one hour actually remaining on that top side, and then they're on to that second tier, they need to try and secure that objective to make things happen, because right now this stall, it kind of suits the Nyla composition on Timeless Harmony.
Yeah, Nyla is excellent in being able to secure the positioning for these fights. Once they get everyone wrapped into the Nyla, they can lay the beat down quite easily. That being said, I do think right now emotional damage have most of the control of the map, but somehow have given up 3 dragons. And if we had like an anxiety meter that can measure what they're feeling right now, the closer it gets to dragon, the higher that meter goes up. And as soon as dragon is taken by them, it's going to go back down to very calm levels. So, bit of a timer for both teams, 1 gold, 1 dragon. And that's going to create a very interesting situation. Maybe
Look at
they
the
give it
minimap
up,
right now.
or they go for an early Baron with just 2 people. They're not, they can't really tank it. They need a Seraphine or at least 1 more person to tank here.
I'm casting my
Ooh,
eyes
wait a
back
minute.
over there right now. Dogman
Wait,
and
they have no
Sornas
idea.
is actually shielding. Wow, what a sneak this is! They get the Baron for free.
Wow. So the
Shelly
vision
is mad.
from
Big
yeah,
Brother
yeah.
went down.
I just
Shelly
want to
looking
point
for
out
a
the
fight.
vision is around the Baron, but none of it is close to the pit, so they had no idea that was going on, or they just wanted to give. It could be that, like, they didn't want to fight it because that vision advantage would be really terrible to walk through. But it looked like they snuck that one quite well, and that's going to set up this Baron that I'm talking about. They have the push, and now plus the Baron. I think they're going to get this dragon, and now it's going to be on Timeless Harmony to find a different angle and stall out for the next dragon.
Oh, Timeless Harmony, the first name right there. They're on the clock, and it might be Timeless if this game is to go, you know, another 10 minutes here with the way that this is accelerating. Look at that gold lead right now. We're talking about 6,000, just over 6,000. Actually, just under 7. Math is hard on the desk. What can I say, Crims? But it's a good point to bring up now. So that Foggy War is so strong that you can't send anybody to actually face check that. We got less than a minute on that dragon. It will be the soul that will be claimed if it is going to be secured by Timeless Harmony. But they just, you can see Soranaz just relentlessly pushing into that blue side. The macro game is strong with EDE, and they're playing around the map perfectly for it.
You have to respect the Baron, and that's exactly what TLH is doing. They know they can't just waltz right in there because that is a dance of death if they do. So they're going to respect it. They're going to stay back. They know this dragon's pretty much done for, and they are also behind in the game. Remember, the last fight they won, Lamb, was based on a pick. Oh, I thought they were... Okay, hold up. Please don't walk in. Please don't do it. This is not a good idea. Oh. Okay. Whew. Okay, that was close, Lamb.
On the edge of your seat right there. Wow. Yep.
Yeah, that was they were moments away from death. They're gonna clear out the vision in the dragon jungle area, but not the dragon pit itself. So no contest here. They're gonna give it. Baron, at the end of the day, though, Lamb just secures the dragon. They don't get much else out of it, so it's not a bad trade all in all. That being said, this Nyla is gonna need more than 1 in 0.8 of an item to win this game here. Taylor Swift massively ahead. Gold lead needs to shrink. It just got bigger again. It's doing a little bit of reversal.
That Baron.
Yeah,
Certainly you want to see a power play with it, and now they're just amassing the
Okay,
numbers in
there
this
we go.
volume. So they might be able to break this open just through brute force, as Ornn is left alone up there. He collects some gold for his team, and now we'll make that all important back to try and stem this siege into the base. They don't want to lose anything else apart from that, and they have such kill potential with the real Natsu on this Nyla, so it's not necessarily something that you can just dive right into. Not like that second tier in the bot lane. That base is going to be heavily defended by this big team composition here, Crimps.
Yeah, they just bolt up defenses around that turret, and they didn't feel comfortable moving in EDE to finish it off. That being said, Len, that was just a 1-for-1 turret trade because Sansarino picked one up on the other side. Cassante and Pally, they left lane to get a turret trade, so at the end of the day, wasn't really worth much. Wondering when the gold bounties or the objective bounties are going to start to kick in for the side of TLH, as, I mean, they really could use that gold right about now.
They could, and having that gold onto the real Natsu right now would be extraordinary. And I mean, he's probably got next item right now. I think he's just channeling the back there as it was cancelled. Yeah, there's that Immortal Shield Bow, so that's going to be huge. any of these team fights. Not going to get blown up necessarily, especially with that Draven, if that Draven can get near the Nyla. But there's such a big front line, and they're starting to accumulate items here, Crims.
They're not greeting for anything here. Timeless want to make sure that they don't make any mistakes. One more misstep, and that's probably the game, so they are very keen to that as well. Sansorino is taking damage, but look at this. The Ornn is quite tanky.
Mundo, Arctic Salt over the wall, looking to make a play here. They're fighting for
Oh, huge Encore.
Encore lands on 2 members. The Draven gets
Wait,
the Sejani, but the apotheosis! Oh, the real Natsu takes over with a quick triple kill. Back forward again, looking for the Quadra, gets the Penta. Nyla takes over the game.
Oh, wow. That was absolute wombo. The real Natsu gets into the backline behind the Braum Lamb and is able to get that amazing apotheosis and tank with that Hydra and the shield bow. Real Natsu is about one more auto from Draven from dying, and then they clean it up with the CC. Emotional damage, they kind of just dogpiled in the jungle, and that's going to activate the AoE CC from the side of Timeless here.
Trims, they could be looking to end the game here if they get that inhibitor.
I don't think they can end the game, but they can definitely give them a bunch of pressure. Sorenads using the shield to movement speed boost. Doesn't look like he's gonna make it. Oh, TP coming from behind Lamb.
They're desperately trying to get something here, but they're about to be pincered.
Dogman doesn't have the Encore.
Hijack actually went on to the Glacial Fissure for Braum as Dogman goes wide in that, and now they're going to turn back around because the Glacial Prison is up and they're about to lock in the invitational winners. Oh, it's Timeless Harmony, make Harmony.
Oh, Pally gets the kill.
And quiet in that mid lane. They pick off another one. Taylor Swift flashes away, but it's just a moment of time. They're peeling back here. Masho trying to be that front Iron Mano activated Wingborn Storm. Change will land.
Call the Forge.
Masho, call it a Forge, runs over Draven, and that's going to be game.
Emotional damage, maybe a build tilted, didn't wait for the Encore on the flanking Seraphine. What does flanking Seraphine do if not just hit a dirt nasty Encore? Doesn't do either, baits the team into a fight. I know it was a team call most likely, but they certainly just tossed this game right back to the hands of Timeless here. I do have to say, after all of that, Lamb, this game is somehow still gold lead in favor of EDE.
It's crazy.
Even despite that, despite the kills, despite the shutdowns, despite the 2 turrets that were just picked up, it's still gold lead to emotional damage. Now, this dragon is going to be a bit of a late contest from EDE, but I don't think Timeless know the timers here, and they're just going to go straight to Baron and hopefully go for that trade.
And that is pretty remarkable that you can get a pentakill and you can win a fight right on the end and only lose 1 member in 2 5-on-5 team fights, and you still are behind in the gold.
I mean, Nyla still hasn't caught up to... Nyla still hasn't caught up to Draven yet. Draven still has more gold.
Draven looking to steal this.
Oh!
Okay. Wow.
Oh, I saw the Udyr icon as Baron died, and I thought it was a steal, but they just get Dragon first. Whew. Okay, that would have been crazy.
So again, they delayed.
I was very confused. I was like, how did Udyr just teleport to the Baron?
I needed to see that. That would have been what a steal that would have been. I mean, it would have delayed the game again. Yeah, another 5-6 minutes here. But now they have that Baron, they'll be looking to make a power play for themselves. And if you are EDE here, Crims, what do you do? Because you're trying to stem the bleeding, you're still ahead in the gold lead, but it really doesn't matter. Look at these colossal giants running towards you. The Ornn now has 3 tank items. The Sejani just finished Warmogs as well. There's a big front line to try and get through.
I think there's 2 options you can do. You take Pally and use the all-in to separate the Nyla from the team. They can't win a single fight without her. I guarantee it. Option number 2, the Braum needs to be in better position to zone out the Nyla. Needs to stop her from getting in and getting a 5-man ultimate. Now that 5-man ultimate, let's not pretend that it's going to happen every time. That's a once in a game play.
It's so good when it does happen.
It's so hard to pull that off multiple times. The enemy team needs to be making mistakes like they did. Emotional damage or overconfident in that last fight. So now they need to make sure. They need to make sure to stop the Nyla. They have Braum. the Glacial Fissure very good at stopping people from coming in. I want to see them utilize that, and then they have the backline damage dealers to take out the team in the fights. So, that being said, is it going to happen? I don't know. EDE, they're kind of on the back foot here. The Baron corralling them in, and they're losing turrets on the side. It's looking like the map is completely turning over, and they're conceding on the side of emotional damage.
Yeah, they're being choked out here. Very unconventional 4-1. 4 in the top and letting Silas push that one
Oh,
in.
that's a free pick.
Have the supers going in the mid lane as well, but Macho might not be super after this one as he gets locked up for an eternity, and he will kill the Udyr. It's going to be a kill onto the support. Soranad's just screaming for help. No one is going to come to Vale as Nyla picks up another double in this game. That's 9 kills, potentially looking for 10 to go
going
ahead.
in.
Draven, Taylor Swift under pressure is just too much for the AD carry. It's a real Natsu, lives with a slither of health and picks up 3.
Macho was staying behind. There's no way you can survive 4 members of TLH. And even if you're under the turret and you're tanky Udyr, it's not going to happen. That's the fight that's going to end the game. There's no one left. Dogman can do his best. That is a very good encore, but you're only stalling the inevitable. They do have Sornads, but the Nexus is exposed. And what a turnaround of a victory for the side of Timeless here. They give emotional damage their first taste of defeat. Lamb happens in game number 1 of Titans. Emotional damage looking like the Kings. Now they just got taken down a step.
They give emotional damage, some emotional damage, Crims. I mean, the clue is in the
Wow,
name.
so clever. Your wordplay is amazing,
Right. That's
Lamb.
right.
It's
Okay, I'm done. I'll see ya. But look, what a game 1. Incredible aspect of just coming back into the game, and that Nyla pick, they prioritized it for a reason, Crimson. We can see why it popped the hell off. Pentakill in week 1 at Conqueror. Does it get much better than that?
Oh, man, that is. I mean, we've been having bangers ever since, and it's good to see that's going to keep up. I do want to see that is a highlight reel play for sure, and the real Natsu probably going to be feeling himself. Does end up 10-3-6 at the end of the day, but was not the top damage dealer in that game. Lamb, can you enlighten us who did the most damage?
I just want to say Brom did more damage than Kisanti. That's
Oh,
interesting
wow.
statistic there, but yeah, it was going to be Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift with 30,000 damage, and even in that pentakill, 19,000 was what Nyla ended up with. And the damage charts, they don't lie. You could see how much Taylor Swift was dishing out, that peeling back, the confidence on that Draven was literally 1v3 in at some point, right? In that mid lane when they were trying to walk around, Sona no mana, ends up picking on the Silas, gets that kill, but it was just a little bit too much of an engage for that Draven to actually survive those team fights. And again, I want to come back to it, that team composition was so set up perfectly for Nyla. I'm actually happy that we've seen a pentakill go over that champion because it synergizes well with the all-in potential of the Sejani, synergizes well with I believe it was Brom. No, it wasn't Brom. Sona was on the team. Sejani, that was it.
Yeah,
I'm
Sejani.
thinking
Yeah,
it,
you already
thinking
said
of
it.
glacial, thinking of glacial, and so everything basically wrapped around. And they says that look, yeah, Taylor Swift is the number 1.
Like a Silas, and they could have used that burst to kill that Nyla in that Quadra. Remember, she was only a couple HP bars away
It's
from
very
going
close.
down. And then once the Apotheosis comes in her Q, she has the healing to sustain the rest of the fight. So the lack of damage there does end up biting them in the butt, and they didn't respect the Wombo. I mean, they should know that it could happen. the Nyla, Sona, they all just grouped up for the Ornn as well, and then the CC layering on top of each other, the damage coming out. It was actually a close fight despite the heroics from the real Natsu.
We kind of seen the flip side, and I mean we see this more often than
than
not
not
when
when
Casanti
Casanti
is picked. It either does really well or it does really poorly. And the fact that you take, well, it was taken into the Ornn. I believe that Casanti was picked last in this instance in the drafting phase, and you pick it into the Ornn, and it doesn't really pay off as much. I mean, we've seen Casanti when he takes over the team fights, right? We've seen him when he's unstoppable. That all out is so strong, and yet here it just we barely said his name, and anytime that we did, it was because he's been solo killed by that flipping goat god in the top lane, Crims.
Yeah, he got forged down by the Ornn. Yeah, what can I say? Not supposed to be that way. Maybe they should be rethinking their Cassante. I mean, it was even a counter pick. I mean, I think they need better results from a counter pick Cassante than this. If you have to avoid the champion, play something else. Maybe the Fiora will be better for Pally. Who knows?
Fiora was banned, I believe. Was it banned?
No, Fiora was
No, it
not
was Zach.
banned.
Zach was banned. Zach was banned. Sorry.
Yeah,
It
they
wasn't
banned
the
Zach.
Fiora.
I think they banned. They're going for jungle bans here. So, yeah, I think they should. Maybe they need to rethink top lane a little bit.
Yeah, rethinking is certainly going to be with emotional damage, energy, but we know what this team can do. We know they can make the comeback if it's required to. They were behind many times, but this is the first defeat. So if you are enjoying it, everybody, you better stick around because game 2.
언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아 견딜 수 없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여 I'm trouble and you running it I'm so cold when I move that way you gon' be so blown I'm the realest in the game said I'm on fire with the blade you're about to hear my name ringing in your head like whoa so keep your eyes on me now 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야 we so tough let's get it show you out can you feel the rush now ain't nobody bringing us down 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 they could try but we Should we show them how we do it every day? Kali that girl, Kali go girl, Kali gon' stop, Kali gon' skirt, Kali got a job, Kali got a word. 뜨거워 언제나 don't get burned. 넘쳐 흘러물 든 a buffet, 죽여주잖아 like a buffet. 누가 감히 on my hotbed? 그 문 열지 마, that's a rock day. Don't give any more cause I'm greater than. 필요 없는 시험들 다 뿐이미. But all of my numbers are talking back. 부루마법 message monopoly. 눈종이 돈이나 real money 필요 없대. 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it, go get it, go get it. 더 미션 눈을 못 떼, 멋져 그래 너도 get it cause I got it different. All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep though. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, add it up and away. You know I got it like bomb, bomb, blow your mind. Never giving less, and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. When I go, it's for thug, get it cool, but I'm cold. I don't fit in a mold, I'm a rebel. I don't do what you say, making moves, I don't wait while I smile in your face. I got different DNA. What's higher than the top? That's me. Come take a look before falling at my feet. 조용히 몸을 숙여봐. So take a look, 나를 기억해, queen. All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep though. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, add it up and away. You know I got it like bomb, bomb, blow your mind. Never giving less, and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. Way out，感觉犹如海浪的味道，不断往前，Oh you never way down. This is how I do it every day. Wow, wow，这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间，无比的耀眼。I know you want some more，准备好就一起走，Give it need more。No, I got it so deep though. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, add it up and away. You know I got it like bomb, bomb, blow your mind. Never giving less, and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. What are you willing to lose? You cover your wounds, but underneath them, a million voices in your head that whisper, stop now. Another twist of the knife, a turn of the screws, it's all in your mind, and it's fighting you on yourself. The storm is coming. Wow, kid, what you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, fans of all. What an immaculate game one here, Crims. I mean, it was so exciting. We got a pentakill in our first day in the Conqueror League. It's set up for greatness, and we're already in the picks and banning phase. As do you know what? Emotional damage. They want to get on with it here. They're trying to bounce back, and I'm kind of noticing they're on their third ban, and Nyla is not going to be taken away. Nope, they don't fear it. They feel like they've got an answer for it this time.
I think they had a decent answer in the Draven Braum in the first place. I don't think that was a factor. I mean, Nyla definitely was the playmaker in the mid game to turn it around, but they literally just don't make that mistake again, Lamb, and they win the game. So I don't think Nyla was worth the ban. The laning phase was too dominant from Taylor Swift for you to be worried about that. Now they have counterpick to this Amumu, who is very strong in the jungle with that demonic embrace. Of course, can flex his support. And when I play against this in solo queue, I pick Mordekaiser, and they did ban Mordekaiser last time around. So we'll see if they're going to find an interesting counterpick here against this very dominant jungler right now.
Well, usually in the first three picks, we actually see three bans of the jungle on EDE, but Zeri is going to be locked in. And we've casted over a game recently of a Zeri, and this champion can really take off if the composition, even if the composition actually doesn't allow it. This champion has so much within her kit to actually just be a consistent threat and pick off people and blow them up.
Zeri's the type of champion you want to make sure dies in the team fight. You need a lot of CC and not a lockdown. Vi is the classic counter.
Oh,
And now here we have the Belveth. They're going to try to outdamage this Amumu in the front line. Belveth has that capability to ignore tons of physical damage, so does not match up against the Amumu directly very well. But we'll see if the rest of the comp comes together for this Belveth pick to make a lot of sense. So that being said, they've left open the support to be blind picked here from Timeless. They could pick Vayne and the Zeri. That would be quite ballsy. As they go ahead, pick something more sensible. All right, the Jin. That makes a lot more
support
sense.
Jin. I'm calling it.
It could be. We'll
Let's
see
see
if
the
they go for
LCK
it.
attack.
I mean,
Let's
if
see
they
it.
go Varus here, then support Jin makes a lot of sense. And wouldn't be too bad into the
Also,
Zeri
Ash.
as well.
Ash is really good with Jin.
Yeah, but I think you want. Oh, interesting. Yeah, which one? I guess you do want the support Ash over the Jin in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds left. Time's a ticking, and I hope they pick their support here. They're going to go counter dive with the Zyra. That will give Belveth a hard time. But as I'm seeing it here, Lamb, I don't see any clear way to take down Azeri safely in the back line.
No, the Zyra route, I do believe it chains. So if you got it in the right position, then you can maybe see that aspect of it. But her burst fire is relentless off cooldown, can take care of those plants that constantly poke you out of lane. Albeit that once Zyra, gets a few items, it becomes really hard to deal with that. And what a perfect
Oh,
counter, actually. What do you want to do against constant poke? You bring somebody who can keep you nice and healthy in the lane phase. They're going to run the Sona.
I'm surprised I'm seeing so much Sona here. It is a hard scaling champion, but very squishy and vulnerable. Amumu and Jin gonna have a field day with that one. But in that laning phase, Sona will heal up the poke and dish out poke herself, causing a health differential. Gonna probably keep the Zeri safe with the ultimate up. So if anyone drafts really hard engage, I don't know if the Zeri's gonna have a good time, but Taylor Swift potential here to hard carry the game on this Zeri pick.
Well, we're certainly going to see an abundance of mid lane bans here. I felt like that Silas was extremely important for Timeless Harmony in that last game. You can see the hijack selection was great, stealing the encore, making things happen, and most certainly in that lead up to that pentakill, Silas had a big part to play in that one. Is Darius actually going to be focused here as well? And then Zillion is going to be
Oh,
taken away.
wait.
So maybe they thought it was going to be, revolving around the AD carry again, but the Ornn is available.
Ah,
Yeah, Ornn is going to
okay.
be picked up there, and you can understand why. Ornn, again, such displacement, can 1v1 pretty much anybody in that top lane, Crims. So now they have to get an answer, TLH. They ran it last game. Now they have to get an answer to the Ornn. Do they even chance the K'Sante here? Because we've seen that K'Sante is not really that good of a matchup for Ornn if the Ornn even gets slightly ahead.
Cassante does win in, I would say, comfortable fashion against the Ornn. Are we
Do you
going to be
see,
picked
do you
up
see
as the
game
mid lane
one?
response? Well, that's so what? So what? That's game one. So what? That's relevant to the overall
You're right. You're
Casante
right.
Orn matchup. Who knows? Maybe he took one bad trade by accident, and then, well, the lane's kind of done from there. Who knows? Maybe in a different dimension, Pally wins that most of the time. But you know who Orn definitely doesn't beat? That's the set.
Mm-hmm. That show me
Yeah,
it's gonna be put on a show up there. You want to see Pally kind of research here, right? I mean, EDE in actually, yeah, EDE. Yeah, Pally's on EDE. Yeah, we got it right the first time. Definitely having a champion like Dorn. There's always a discussion with top laners. Do you
yeah.
put them on a carry? Oh, Infinite Scale and
Oh, here
Veigar.
we go.
We'll get
Here we
Crimson's
go.
thoughts on that in just a second. I know you're going to be intrigued to see how that one will perform. Actually, that's a really good. Anyway, I'm going to stick to my point. I'll let you rattle on about this Veigar. So the Ornn here. So again, the discussion with the top laners is that we're going to put them on a carry. We're going to put them on tank duty. What do we need here? And ultimately, that's the downfall of actually playing top. Is you get told most of the time what you're going to play to actually associate with the rest of the team, and what they're looking for here is a big beefy front line. Is somebody who's going to be hard to fight front to back, even though they have that Amumu, even though they have the set to answer the Ornn, which makes that Veigar also important with that cage. But I'm going to let you talk about that. That's kind of my thoughts on the top side there. So they opt to take Pally off a carry champion. Potentially, you could say Kazante's a bit of both, and they put him on the
Mhm.
Ornn this game.
So the only tank killer they do have is the set, and set is a limited time tank killer. Of course, in the 1v1 against tank, has enough time to kill them. But in the team fight, you do need that spike of damage, and set has the true damage, and that falls off against tanks later in the game. So they have the better late game front line on the side of EDE, not to mention the Belveth in there, going to be negating lots of physical damage from the set engine. Anyway, so not a big tank killing force on the side of Timeless here, but the Ornn is going to be able to out tank for sure. The Belveth is going to be able to provide better damage. Amumu has the lockdown, and Set have the burst damage in the early and mid game. So for Timeless, they have a bit of a clock here in that early mid game phase. They're gonna have enough damage. They're gonna completely burst out the side of EDE. But if EDE manages to stick around, the Zeri is going to start to activate. The Ornn's going to activate. The Belveth is going to activate. The Sona is going to
Yes.
activate. The Veigar is going to activate. This is a 5 scaling lane. You don't really want to do this normally, but emotional damage, they say, we know how our bread is buttered, and we're going to butter it in scaling all over. The Veigar is a very nice pickup here because it blocks dashes. If you try to go through the cage with a dash, you will get stunned and you will be stopped.
Gale
So
Force
that's going
Jin
to work.
comes to
That
mind.
it's going to work against the Amumu. It's going to work against the Ari. Doesn't work against the Stoppable. The set is just going to be able to get through that anyway. But it's going to work against two of these members very effectively here. Amumu, if he doesn't get in, he's useless. So I like the Veigar pick. I'm not a fan that they're all scaling, but if emotional damage say we're good enough at hanging around until the late game, then you know what? They're calling out TLH. They say you can't close out a game. We're going to play all scaling. We'll see how it works out for them.
Well, the biggest thing for a scaling composition is okay, your immediate purpose in the game is to reach mid to late, right? You need to get the skill, you need to get the items on board, you need to get the Vagar passive going there, get that stacked up, the phenomenal Eva power on him. And the one thing that TLH can't do is make mistakes in the early game, because if you accelerate this team right now, even across the board, the Zeri, the Belveth especially, I feel like is a very sleeper pick. Not a lot of people pay attention to this champion in the early game. Belveth still likes to make ganks before it gets that endless banquet. I believe just tries to get those infinite attack speed going. So basically, you got infinite scaling in the jungle, you got infinite scaling in the mid lane, you got an Ornn that even enhances the infinite if even there is a finite thing for this composition. So it's like there's no end to what this composition can do. So that early game, there's so much emphasis on what this Amumu has to do. He has to make it a priority to get involved in these lanes, get the Jin and Zyra ahead, maybe even get the Ari out of the lane. But you cannot let this team get ahead even for a second, because we know you give EDE, I'm kind of referring back to the Invitational, will right off that game one, because ultimately this is a best of one now for them. If they win this one, they go to that third, also important game to decide who wins it. but they have to make sure that they don't give this team an inch, because once you give them an inch, they can take over the whole game in this composition. It represents that really strongly here, Crims.
It's going to be hard for emotional damage to get that inch, though. TLH, I think, in terms of the lanes, are going to be massively ahead. All of their champions are in the winning positions. That's going to be a lot of pressure that can be exerted on the map in extension, and that means they can mess with the Belveth. They can go in the mid lane, mess with the Veigar. The Amumu Ari stun setup kill combo is going to be certain death for Veigar, even with a flash. So if any of these members from EDE mess up as well, and in my opinion, they're going to be set to mess up because of this pressure, it could lead to a massive snowball. So if TLH do mess up themselves, yes, it's a huge boon for emotional damage. Should they mess up? No, they have the advantage in these early plays. They're going to be able to have a better time setting up kills and ganks. I think that TLH win the early game so hard, I don't think they're going to get to the endless. It's not going to be timeless in this one. It's going to be finite.
Love that. Love that. Not timeless. It's going to be finite. And that's exactly their win condition, right? They have to make it a priority to get this game over and done with. You know, hit that 20-minute mark where you've got 3 dragons to the good, play around that pressure that you can get in the bot side with Jin and Zyra, because this will be pretty hard for the Zeri and the Sona to actually deal with early on, right? The relentless pushing that the Jin can offer, as well as the plants coming out from Zyra. Yes, you can heal and sustain with that Sona, but it's not a permanent answer. That is still going to happen regardless. It's going to be a constant pressure factor. You have to play around that. Make sure you claim those dragons, as you did in game one, by the way, and force ED's hand to say, do you know what? They've got 3 dragons at like 18, just short of 20 minutes here. We have to try and contest. But what they're going to try and contest with is a composition that hasn't even scaled yet. So you have to try and force their hand and see where they'll make plays. But I really liked Alu Power's performance on that Silas in that
Silas.
first game. And now that he's found himself on a champion that has pretty much complementary dashes, kind of the same as Silas, a little bit different aspect to play. But on the Ari, who's he looking at trying to assassinate here? Because he's got multiple targets.
Definitely could take out the Veigar and the Sona. Zeri has a dash and can zip over very long distances. But of course, if Zeri's not in a position to do that, Ari can chase down as well. Not as good as something like a Vi or a Nautilus, but definitely could be enough to pick up the kill here against Taylor Swift. That being said, Taylor Swift doesn't have all the peel in the world like we usually see. I think people have keyed in to this strategy a little bit. I mean, if we look at the draft, the Jinx, the Lulu, and the Zillion have been banned. People are noticing emotional damages strategy, and they're trying to counter it early this time.
Oh, counter it early bird gets the worm. That's what they say, Crims. We will see if Timeless Harmony can take it 2-0 in this one. This would be an upset, by the way, with the form that both of these teams are showing. Emotional damage, they went undefeated. They look great. They didn't look a foot out of place. But what excites me is Taylor Swift now on the Zeri, another really highly micro-orientated champion in order to try and carry the game. We're going to see what happens. It's going to be explosive. Maybe another pentakill. I would love to see one. But stick around, because after this break, it's going to be game 2. Game 2 of the Conqueror Titan Esports League set up for a big finale if EDE are to bounce back in this one with this incredible scaling composition. If they do pull it off, then questions will be on the mental for Timeless Harmony. But they have to try and get through this early game pretty unscathed here, Crims. You know, mistakes on both sides. There's such a high price to pay for that.
Both of these teams do not want to make a mistake for opposite reasons. If TLH make a mistake, the scaling team gets their acceleration. If EDE make a mistake, then the snowballing team gets their snowball rolling. So both of these comps, it just might be an absolute disaster for either side, because once the ball gets rolling for either of them, I think it just completely spirals out of control from there. So we'll see if that does come true, or this could be a very close game.
The one thing that I do want to highlight is Dogman is a very capable mid laner, and being on a champion like Veigar, you know, he's actually opted to take the electrocute here, so he has that burst damage, and again, Alu Power is going to take that as well. It just helps you so early on with these trades, right? That additional damage that you can get from it. But Dogman just probably looking to get the passive stacks on that Baleful Strike. Try and get that up to a point where he's one-shotting people with Q, not even having to use that Primordial Burst. And certainly that spotlight can be stolen by the mid laner depending on the state of the game. Now, I kind of want to go back to the jungle picks here, Chris, because you already mentioned that Amumu is such a sought-after jungler. He's so strong right now, and there's a reason for that, right? His ability on that rework now, you get a second try at the bandage toss. If it lands, you can still make things happen. If you can follow up something, get somebody's flash, and then they're in trouble, right? As we see level 2 actually for the real Natsu and Griff the Redeemer. We're kind of looking that way in the bot side. They've got a strong bot, but Amumu has to path towards that, which he is. So you could say that maybe that win condition of getting those early game dragons and getting this bot lane ahead will certainly be a priority for this team.
They're going to want to be setting up shop bot side. That is true, Lamb. They have the Amumu to get the ganks going. The double Qs so strong, especially if you consider, Lamb, they have the setup with the Ahri, Zyra, and Jhin. Someone is not going to be able to play League of Legends momentarily in these fights here. Alu Power is going to be able to push in the Veigar, as well as bot lane pushing in here as well. That's going to give him the scuttle. If Masho doesn't respect that, could just be a downhill trend already just based off these lanes.
Yeah, Belveth will meet up with the Mummy very shortly
nice
here.
trade.
That crab's actually just coming up. Look at the pings going down. Even Ahri is
there we
rotating
go.
for this one. They understand that there's not going to be a contest, and if there is, they're certainly going to win it. Griff again walking into the jungle right here, but this will certainly go over to Mundo OP. So the team collapse. You've seen the chemistry of the team there. What a great call to make sure that that's not going to be heavily contested. And now Belveth has to get the back off because there's nothing left on the side of the map for her.
Reminds you about game number 1 a little bit. EDE pulled the same exact stunt here. Not as effective, but certainly still good nonetheless. Dead even in the gold. Sanserino getting the better of the trades on the Pally. Sanserino taking it to the invitational champion in the top side here.
Look at the map though. Amumu actually doubled back to get both crabs. Might get rewarded for a little bit more because Belveth was a little bit slow to get out the gates there. Or Nepali could be in trouble. Gets
the combo.
Bandage toss lands. The Bellow's Breath makes him unstoppable, but doesn't make him unkillable. First blood for the jungler of Timeless Harmony.
All right, Mumu getting a bit of a lead. Gonna be able to power clear through the jungle a bit faster as well once that demonic comes in. The real Natsu is able to stop this wave from coming in, so that's gonna be a nice freeze potential. And maybe we're gonna see Mundo come down for that gank onto the Sona. Such an easy target if you can get any CC onto her. So far, I like what they did. Get the wraparound, get the gank, get 2 scuttles. Mundo completely dominating in the first opening minutes of game number 2. Wait, he's still not going back. Look at this. Refused to go back to base. Doesn't want to buy. Let me look how many. Has 1,500 gold for a jungler. That is a huge buy. Is refusing to go back. He's just looking for blood.
Well, this could be problematic if he runs into anything, but I get the feeling he's just going to get the chickens maybe go for the Krugs as Deadly Flourish lands on a Taylor Swift, but no mana means no follow-up, and just over 30% health on the real Natsu means that Zeri will be perfectly safe. That cleanse coming through for Taylor Swift in this one. Obviously scared about that Amumu locking her down, but there's nothing that can stop that set coming through. Mundo looking to get the wrapper, and what a great ward that is. I believe that was Sorinad putting it down there, and they know that Mundo's going to be down here. Maybe they can bait it out and keep him here for as long as they can and let Belveth actually get back. Actually, Belveth is at the back of the turret right here, so this is pretty interesting. So there's not going to be a threat of a dive here because they see the Amumu, but they're still sticking around with the jungler.
They know the wave state's being fought for right now, so both junglers are coming down. That being said, the mana bar from the side of Timeless, not so good. They go for this fight. I think they got to run out of juice midway through. They're just going to concede this. Mundo goes in.
Yeah, he does take the invitation on it. Sorinaz gets raided up again, but they get the flash out with the Amumu, and Sorinaz will walk away. Taylor Swift with the burst fire, and now Dogman is here, level 6 on the Veigar. Ari can't move out with that wave because he did push it before he left there, so we'll return to a neutral lane state in that mid lane. No, that's actually going to crash. So the Veigar doesn't get paid for the roam. He's going to miss out on some golden XP. And look at Alu Power right now. He's shielding that mid lane, so the Veigar has to take the long way around to get back to the lane.
Denying CS against the Veigar, very solid strat. Oh, maybe threw that a bit prematurely. Could have held it. Surprisingly, though, what you were talking about, Lamb, I do think they should have delayed the back from Mundo. Give Masho more time to clear. Dogman sensing a kill.
Masho is here, above and beyond, does hit. They get the Spirit Rush out
so
of
hard.
Alu Power and holds on to the flash, but does get the flash from Dogman. So that gank didn't work out, and now that mid laner is without a flash.
Both of them didn't have to expend, but I'd rather take the ultimate over the flash any day here. They're going to get the push in, so they do get that. But Mundo coming around to help this Ari claim the CS.
And he did go back, so he did spend his gold eventually. So that giant spell going to be in the inventory for Mundo in this one as he shields his mid laner. Seen that wave constantly pressurized in that top side. Ornn is still doing good in the CS department. That's a big wave to actually catch up on, so should probably come close to even. They do spot out the Belveth as well. So Masho will return to the red side of the jungle. Again, the Warden is going to be also important to stop this Belveth and Amumu from making things happen here, Crimson. So far, we've only seen one kill. It's kind of following the same state as early game in the game 1.
Yeah, if they can keep this up, keep up this pace, it's going to look good for them. They're going to look a little negative, but that is completely expected here. The Dragon has also gone unclaimed early in this game. This is a different look from both teams here. Alu Power trying to go for a kill. Flashes.
Flashes over the event horizon. Oh, yeah, that's Veigar.
Yeah.
That's Veigar. Primordial Burst secures that kill. Oh, what an interaction that is. You think you got a chance and he just presses a button.
Did Alu flash into the cage? It looked like it from me.
No, he
there
was
a bit of a
outside of
pause.
it. I don't believe he was stunned. Flashes away Natsu as we get the lightning crash coming out
Oh,
from the
double
Zeri.
knock
Cleanse
up.
was prop preemptively there, still looking for damage. Burst fire going out. Sorinaz gets a heal off. Level 6 goes crescendo is available.
Oh.
Activates it too late. Sansorino gets killed in the top lane. Action in the north and the south of the map here.
Both firing at the same time, different sides of the map. And Sansorino goes down. Again, the Ornn lane might be pulling on top as well. Both blind picks. This is, well, it looks like Ornn's just back to his OP goodness, just like the good old days. That being said, the level 6 real Natsu needed that level up to go for that fight effectively and wasn't able to get it. It was zoned out, and essentially Griff had to hold up that bot lane 2v2 on a lonesome. So did not work out despite the heroics of Zyra there. Bot lane slightly not in their favor. Again, another lane that is going towards the scale, a direction that I predicted not to go. So interestingly, all the scaling lanes are kind of winning right now, Lamb. Not a good look at all for TLH. They needed to be in the winning pressure positions, and they've completely lost them on all lanes.
And Gold Lead as well is sitting with emotional damage right now. They're certainly playing towards their win condition. They're up in kills. They got a kill on the Veigar, Belveth. Yeah, the Zeri's even got one. Even the Sona getting in on the action, but still within arm's reach, and that CS discrepancy in the bot lane is a bit concerning as well for the real Natsu. And I do believe, as you already mentioned, that Griff the Redeemer hit level 6 before the Jin, so he is behind in that experience department. But the Dragon, they make the call for it. They are strong in the early. So there's going to be no contest going through here. Even with that gold lead, they're still going to give over that Dragon.
Wait a minute,
that
Taylor
does not land on a mass show.
Vanish
Taylor
toss.
Swift doesn't have summoners, but just dances across the wall there, and Soranaz will return to lane. So the threat of actually dying there, they know that it's not worth it. They know that the game state is still going towards their favor, and emotional damage peel off to give over the Dragon. But man, they are well on their way here.
Yeah, there's no way to walk into a Zyra, Jin, and Mumu and already think you can get out of that. Oh, that's going to be a root landing. A bit of a trade.
Actually uses a cleanse, but Mundo is here.
Oh, the lockdown.
Crescendo lands on it both, then that'll be a kill for Taylor Swift, but Mundo gets the curse of the sad mummy on it. Taylor Swift will kill the Zeri. Masho a little bit late to the party as both junglers looking for the solo kills, and that's going to be a double onto the Amumu. It's Masho is just too little, too late.
Yeah, a bit of a miscall there, Lamb. Mundo does not have Curse of the Sad Mummy time. That's not an ability that Mundo has. That's a Mumu. You did correct yourself later there. As
I'm so done. I'm leaving. I was waiting. I've been waiting for that the whole time that we've been on the desk here. I was waiting for you to correct me with that. Yeah, what we're going to say, maximum dosage there? What we trying to say?
Oh man. Well, you know, why would you name yourself the same as a champion if you're also gonna play in a league? Like, are you trying to mess up the casters?
Technically, it's not naming after because it's Mundo OP, so it's just an opinion. Mundo
Oh,
is OP.
okay. It is an opinion. That is true. Maybe we should just say Mundo OP then instead of Mundo.
That's true. It's a little bit. Yeah, once you say Mundo and then you follow up with a Cursed Sad Mummy, yeah, you know, some people who are just listening to the audio will be like, yeah, right, dude. Think again.
This Lamb guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, wasn't there a game mode where you could have somebody else's ultimate, right? It would pop up on the screen and then you would select it. So maybe that's the game mode that we're running. Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. That's an official league game mode, of course, as we have.
That was pretty fun though. That was pretty fun. Having a Cho'Gath out on somebody was insane.
I mean, so far though, Lamb, this is quite even. I predicted a massive tilt into either team, and it's an even field. Griff the Redeemer doing a lot of CC in this bot lane, keeping Natsu alive, and it's looking like there's going to be another rumble down there. Meanwhile, Pally, half HP against the set. It's looking like
there's no rumble in this game, Crims. Let me correct you. Showstopper.
Oh,
Marino. Oh, he actually uses a haymaker to get out of the primordial burst. Both top laners going to fall, but we've got action. The current has been lifted, and that bot lane set up and sniped. The real Natsu collects his second kill in that bot side as we see action again across the rift.
How did I let you find that angle on me? How did I not see that? I have to avoid all champ names for the future of this game.
It comes in circles.
How did you see that? That was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right, well, Dogman does pick up the kill on topside Veigar, getting another little boost to his engine as Pally pays for that set trade. It was a bit of a bait trying to go for it here. They're going to be setting up the rift. However, Alu is here to stop it, going to cut down its charge just a little bit. Plates go in. It is past 14 minutes. Don't get the plates if you're late. If you're late, you don't get the reward. What can I say?
Yeah, it's better being late than never. A famous man once told me. As the real Natsu finds himself in a 1v1, exhaust goes down and gets the flash. Oh, deadly flourish lands and just out of range of the burst fire. Taylor Swift doesn't get rooted up by Griff either, and Jin will get out of there, but both summoners down for the AD carry of Timeless Harmony.
Taylor Swift, very confident in that 1v1. Has the mythic completed, feels like it can take it, gets rewarded. However, no kill there. Both of these, all these turrets are still up 15 minutes into this game. Oh, look at this. Has the Blade of the Rune King Pally. You can't do anything against the set right now. Even with a Radiant Virtue, that is not a 1v1 item compared to the Blade of the Rune King. Taylor Swift expertly vacuum up farm in the jungle as well as the lane here. and that's going to help contribute to that CS diff. Does delay your Belveth a little bit, but I mean, as we know, EDE, they like having a strong AD carry.
Yeah, and that Immortal Shield Bow comes through for the AD
Oh,
carry.
nice
And
baiting
Griff
that.
gets the ultimate out, and my show just dances on by, so not going to pay too much attention to that as we kind of check on the Veigar. Dogman actually sitting on a bonus of 133 AP right now. Just completed that Crown of the Shattered Queen as well, so those mythics are coming thick and fast here, Crims, as they're gearing up to have an explosive mid game. By the looks of it, Dragon on the board.
Pally's here. No TP on Cesarino. Cage stopping the engage.
Oh, Curse Sama, he lands on two, and they'll get my show. The jungler falls there. The Bellow Breath comes out. He Pally make him unstoppable for now, as he will get the kill back. And revenge right there. As Pally walking away, he will get tagged up. That's a kill over to the Jhin. The force shot goes on to the Dragon. Flash forward.
Oh, nice three-man cage.
Oh, he gets both. He gets everything. Primordial Burst finishes off the Zyra. And that top lane is being broken open by the set. Sansarino wasn't there, but they're going to collect the Dragon.
Dogman on the Veigar, seen it before, and you know there's good reason why he plays this champion. Excellent three-man flash cage secures that team fight victory.
Beautiful.
Taylor Swift picks up the crumbs of that fight on the back end, and Pally was going for a solo play on top side. I mean, solo play on top side. Sansarino wasn't there. They knew the TP was down. Pally could have TP'd up, but didn't survive the fight, unfortunately. That being said, Michelle completely blown up at the beginning of that fight. It could have went a lot better for them if that didn't happen. So it's still 9-9 kills, even. Not so much in the gold department, but kills is so close. I mean, this game, the smoother it goes, the better for EDE. I'm feeling like Timeless Harmony, that pressure should be mounting for them to be making plays to win this game.
Have a quick look at the Veigar's inventory right now, and you will see two very similar items that are awaiting to be completed into something that is of a hat. That Rabadon's is going to be the next focus for the Veigar. He's been accelerated in this game, something that we said is going to be very scary for the side of Timeless Harmony. You cannot let a Veigar scale ahead even further, because he just needs to press one button and you're finished. And especially on the Jhin or the Ahri, you can lock up that Ahri, and of course it interrupts that Spirit Rush once she activates that, having the cage. And with the way that Dogman is playing right now, those cages are always on point.
Yeah, this crown's going to get harder to burst out this Veigar as well. So wearing two hats, going to have a cap and a crown at the same time. Lots of headwear.
No cap. That's no cap. Telling the truth.
Okay, now someone get me out of here. As as Sansarino taking it to Pally. Yeah, Pally's like, please, I don't want to be here anymore. Gonna need a hat of his own to get out of that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna need a teleport or a pushed into another lane or something, but he's holding it down up there. He does get that Radiant Virtue. It's already completed, working his way, I believe that is to the Sunfire now. As we kind of reach a lull point in this game. There's nothing really up on the map.
Are they going to do a little... Dogman's coming around.
Oh, they still want to make this happen. They charm up Belveth, and she dashes away. And Griff will be left alone. The cage goes down early. That means that's going to be a window.
Wait a minute.
Beautiful ultimate from Mundo OP. The teleport's going to be committed as Veigar. I believe that was a Primordial Burst to take down the opposing mid laner, and Zyra will get the kill onto the mid laner of EDE. But Mundo, the burst fire, relentless from Taylor Swift. She needs to land one more. There it is. Zeri will collect that. Here comes the curtain call. But Sorinat's going to heal them up, needs to body block for Tay. Does successfully as that bot lane. They collide once again in the mid lane, but they will stay unscathed for now.
Pally stopping the TP of Sansarino saves that play. Wait, hold a minute. Sansarino's got a flank now onto Taylor Swift. Flash going to be burned.
Well, heal comes out, but it's not enough to negate it. Showstopper, Haymaker goes in. Sansarino burning with a turret. Oh! Sorinats will fall. Ultra shot goes through, and it doesn't matter. Jhin gets the force shot right there, but Mashal will clean up. It's that mess. I mean, this is just going crazy. But the gold lead, only 2,000 right now, is that kills. They even up in the game, Crims.
All right, the last game was a comeback victory, and now this one's just a complete fiesta. Both teams just pulling punches
Hell
as much
yeah.
as they can. And I have to say, going for that fight without the real Natsu turned out to be quite a detriment to their ability to kill the Zeri. They do pick it up in the end. This is a roam down from San Sereno into the jungle. Taylor Swift was not expecting a set in their own jungle, and so cleans up the back end of this fight. Still, this is a meager gold lead at 20 minutes. 2K, that doesn't mean much, especially with these champions. Pally 1 level away from the first ornament and 2 levels away from a huge damage boost onto Taylor Swift or Dogman. I mean, Dogman's doing so good in this game. I mean, the upgraded crown's really bad, so you probably still want to give it to Taylor Swift.
He's got Rabadons now.
Oh,
no, he
look at
cancels it
this.
back. Veigar still doesn't have the death cap, and they're going to start up the Baron here.
6K, it's going down fast.
Yeah,
Michelle's
this could go
here.
one way or another. Is Mundo misses the actually okay. Amumu misses the first cast of the bandage toss. We need to stay
Mundo
away
OP.
from that name. 1500. Is the
Oh,
smite
they
going to be
get it
there? Smite is
clean.
good. Is Michelle going to
Wait,
get tagged
Pally's
up
on
on
the
the front
back.
line? Dives away. Pally looking to make the wrap round. The ultimate already comes out from Desire. They're already dropped the baby cage to stun out the rest of the team and make that distance. Showstopper on multiple, and the artillery comes crashing down. But Jen still has a little bit yardage to make up as San Sereno goes forward. Cage comes back out. Haymaker lands on Macho, and they're still chasing down Pally. He gets the searing charge away to safety, and they will trade 1-for-1. But the Baron does go over the time limit.
Unless they're gonna be able to pick up the dragon, nothing terribly wrong goes here. Please don't fix it. Crim, as we have the turret being taken as well. Taylor Swift falls in the fight, and Pally did not have Call of the Forge God up in time, so that flank was not nearly as effective. So far, though, Dogman is doing great. Multiple cages coming down, multiple kills as well.
lands
Wait a
his
minute,
charm.
gets charmed.
Dogman gets
Oh, the
chunked
pressure
down
in the
there.
cage.
But there's a Sona, Crims, there's a Sona, so the Veigar's still going to get healing
Yeah.
coming out with the support. There is the...
But the
Jostle.
pressure from that cage is so huge. Can they pull through?
Oh, Amumu just went very close with that bandage toss. The cage comes down, playing around it. Forward goes Alu Power.
Oh, they get
so
Sona.
No more healing now is Pally. It's the next focus. That's a double. That's a triple. Over to Alu Power, looking to make that a quadra kill as they fall back on a Dogman. No ultimate, no cage, which means he's going to be an easy picking. And that ace will go over to Timeless Harmony as they're sieging in the mid lane with Baron.
Bit of hesitation in the step of emotional damage, and that was a mistake in and of itself. Now they are down another turret. They're looking at an inhib turret as well, as Mundo OP gonna claim the free, well-deserved dragon. And they're just letting TLH get in and start these fights, Slam. But when they want to play the range game, they want to control the fights and set it up themselves with the Call of the Forge God, with the cage zoning, and getting people stunned into it instead of not just, holding members inside but not really doing anything. It feels like emotional damage are a bit lost right now at this point in the comp and in this game. They don't know how to fight to win.
Well, I just want to reiterate that maybe shouldn't have been the decision making coming through from EDE, because Dogman was sitting on the money for the Rabadons and he didn't get the back off. I believe it was cancelled twice before that fight actually happened, and it was only cancelled because they made the call, we're going to stay here, we're going to try and contest this dragon. And now what they've done is now Ari has now got a Void Staff. So Void Staff, second item, looking to just get through that Ornn as quick as they can, even though the magic resistance is only with that Primordial Dawn now. So that Radiant Virtue is going to be upgraded for the Ornn in the top lane. So with the Veigar getting the back off now, we'll kind of check in on what stacks Dogman's got. He's got an additional 250 AP on that ultimate and the Baleful Strike as well. So the Veigar is still scaling. That's something that they have, right? They've got an insurance policy, but that gold lead just ballooned to your Crims. They're in a little bit of trouble, because if this keeps accelerating this way, this is a clear open window for Timeless Harmony to close out this game. And with that Baron 2.5 minutes away, you got to say that's their focus. And look at the ward coverage in that red side of the jungle right now. There
is not much coverage. It's like AT&T out here as we have as we
Oh my god.
oh my gosh, I hope they're not a sponsor. That would be terrible.
Well, it's not
As
going to
we
be
have
now.
yeah, it's probably not going to be now, at least, or they have to fire me. Um as they
Nice
have
knowing you did.
yeah, I know. But maybe, Lamb, emotional damage has this game exactly where they want it. Remember, in the Invitational, they've been in this spot many times. Dogman gonna get some. Oh, whoa! That is some damage coming out of the Vagar there. But maybe this is exactly where they want this game to be. They've been on the back foot so many times before, and with a full scaling comp, it is in the mid game. They have to get over this last hump. It's not exactly over just yet. And certainly, I mean, just look at Dogman's damage. You think this Vagar can't carry this game, Lamb?
I know he can, but I want to just kind of change over the gold there. Have a look at what Jin's got right now. He's sitting on enough gold for, I believe, his third item, or he might be saving for a complete Infinity Edge purchase
I do.
here.
Yeah, probably the Infinity Edge. I do want to point out that Vagar has Magic Pen, but no one's really building MR on the opposite side. Yes, Set has some now, but you're not really going to be hitting Set too much, so I think that's a bit of a mistake. I think could have went for Shadow Flame. Just more damage in the kit. Get those kills. Get the burst kills. I mean, you almost two-shot Ari. Imagine if you have the Shadow Flame. That's going to be a full kill and 2 abilities, right?
Well, Mr. Colorcaster, look at Amumu's mythic item. I believe there's some magic resistance in that itemization.
I mean, Vagar
just
doesn't
being a
want to hit
smart
the
ass.
front line.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to hit the front line.
No, he doesn't. He just wants full power to just blow them up, and Void Staff is going to come away from that. You kind of maybe with Shadow Flame, I think it's called. You know, there's other itemization that you could have went there to amp up your damage to make
Hyper
sure you
shot.
get that one shot exactly. And that primary cause is going to be onto the
Right,
Jhin
they're
there.
on
You
my
see an
show.
engage. My show does get away as the lightning crash comes out very early from Taylor Swift. No threat of a dive just yet. No second tier in that mid lane either. Stranglethorns come out from the Zyra, going to knock up the
early
Zeri,
ult.
but she will proc the Immoral Shield Bow of the AD carry, and with the Baron on the board, that's going to be big cooldowns gone.
Okay, they're
for Taylor
drawing them
Swift.
in. And yes, Sornads and Taylor Swift don't have the ultimate, and that is so huge. Those are massive abilities. Dogman still has a primordial burst. That's what we're looking for here, but it's not looking good. They can't get in. 2K, the Vagar steal? No.
No, he doesn't get it, but they're going to get engaged, and then Pali's going to be on the front line. But look at San Sereno. He's chasing after Taylor Swift. Allows the team to collapse onto the Orn God. Gets
the
the kill on
burst.
him. Masho will fall. Is Zeri healing back with the burst fire. Sornite's trying to heal him up as best they can, but there's so much
cage.
damage. It's coming out from the team. Natsu, full shot. Good night, Sona. Taylor Swift going to be the next one.
Whoa.
Oh my god, Dogman explodes and kills 2. The real Natsu gets chained
Oh, he got
up.
stunned.
Full strike. Oh my god. Dogman steals the show.
All right, I called it earlier. Vagar can carry this game. Dogman's damage deletes 2 instantly, and with their primordial burst gets Mundo OP. I guess the MR pen is working out here, but Dogman, look at this damage coming out. Not looking like a dog, looking more like a wolf. And now he's gonna solo drag. Okay, he's gonna TP.
Yeah, he's getting
This
a little bit of
is- yeah.
assistance. He deserves it. Level 16 now on that Vega, which means the Primordial Burst fully online. Also, look at the CS discrepancy in that mid lane. It's pretty insane. Arya about to get the Rabadon's Death Kappa as well, but Dogman well and truly on his way. Sitting on 3,300 gold crims. Could be looking to complete that Void Staff for himself right now, and that's going to help get through, I guess. Well, you may question it, but it will still help delete the Amumu and the set if you even need it at this point.
Taylor Swift does supply a lot of damage, has the IE as well, so triple spikes have just activated as we have the ornament item completed for Dogman going on him as well. So they have all the tools now to come back in this game. And just look at the damage on Primordial Burst. I don't think we're going to be able to get that chance, but we're just going to have to see it for ourselves as someone gets killed by Dogman here. They're going to get the inhib. Does a fight surmount?
Well, they
Looks
get what
like
they
no.
came for. and they'll kind of retreat back into the red side of the jungle. They're making the rotations here. They're doing the smart thing. They're taking down these turrets. It's free gold on the map. The most important thing is that no survivors, which means no Baron, is going to be carried over to this push
Wait,
here.
Pally doesn't have
Marshall
TP.
knocks up Sanserino. Taylor Swift staying behind that Sona. Every time you see this bot lane duo, they are completely tied hip and hip. You can't get them away, and Sorina is definitely doing his best to keep Taylor Swift alive, but you feel like if that pick comes through with a charm from the Ahri, it's going to prove very difficult. But right now, it's 30 minutes into the game, Crims. What does that mean for the scaling composition?
If a team fight rolls around, they might just win it again. Unfortunately, Pally did just delete in the front line. Was completely melted by all the damage coming together here. We have a bit of a lull. There is no objectives up for 3 minutes. I don't know if TLH have a secured play. They can go for that last second tier turret. That's going to be a little bit of gold back for them to get. But other than that, they're not going to be able to make any big plays to really accelerate the game. Meanwhile, the scaling Dogman is getting stronger as every second goes by. And that primordial burst does so much damage. If Fort could show us here now,
Oh my God.
we have the time. 2,256 damage on opponents below 33% HP. That is insane amounts of burst in one spell.
Without the resistance he's taken into account with the runes, that's enough to just one-shot the Jhin. Jhin currently sitting on just under 2,300 health points in this one. So Dogman,
Yeah,
you get caught in that cage, it's gonna be so devastating for anybody on the receiving end of that primordial burst for this mid laner.
I imagine anyone under 50% cannot survive that.
No, absolutely not.
I think that's just how strong it is, especially with the magic pen on top of it. Has a Zhonya's as well, just gets a full completion in this state of lull, and now it's going to be way harder to kill. I mean, building defensively, but still has the damage. Pally's going to match into Sanserino. We know how that's going to work. So it's on this 4v4. Can they get into Dogman? They have a lot of CC on Mundo OP, but these waves are melting. They need that Baron buff to pull through, and they're not going to get it. They need that extra punch of survivability of the Baron. Oh, that's just one ability. That was
well, they have
one
to.
ability.
They have to try and end this game. Their clock is running out. The time for timeless harmony. The time is almost up. The jig is up. Sanserino going behind.
Oh, Mundo's in.
Across, gets the Curse's Sad Mummy. Dogman will hit the stasis. Stay alive. Colin Forge comes out. It's going to tag
charm.
him. Oh,
Dogman's
the lightning
dead.
crash comes down from Taylor Swift. The team is falling apart in front of his eyes, but he's peeling back. No more cooldowns. He peels back again.
Swift.
Still fancy footwork from Taylor Swift. The AD carry looking to take over. Triple kill. Ultra Shock tags up Atlu Power and slows him down. Flash away, misses
that's
the
not gonna get
charm.
much.
That's a quadra kill for the Zeri. The amount of defense, and they are successful.
When Dogman falls, Taylor Swift picks it up from there. The other backline carry of emotional damage, and Taylor Swift is very comfortable in this spot. Now at 3.5 items, looking to complete that fourth, has the damage, and now Lamb, TLH are in a catch-22. You pick Dogman, but guess who carries the game? Taylor Swift, and if you kill Taylor Swift, Dogman carries the game as well. They're going to need to go for a godlike play. They have to catch both at the same time, and we know, Lamb, that is no easy task to catch two of these carries at the same time. Mundo OP, they went for it, but they only got one.
Well, look at the CS numbers for the mid lane carry and the AD carry. They've never stopped. This infinite scaling composition is more than online. There's 100 CS difference right now between Dogman and Alu Power. The Silas in game one not really turning up in this one, as Baron's going to be started here, but I don't believe this is a smart move to do.
Oh wait, that might signal
do they
if
know
they're doing
this
the
is
Baron.
happening?
Yeah, they do know that's happening. That's why
Yeah.
Dogman was hanging around. I think
they
Dogman could have self-defended the Baron, but didn't want to go for such a risky play. I understand, no vision. This is a Baron for Dragon trade. Oh, Dogman, though. He's playing with fire. He wants to get the extra damage down, but that might be his mistake.
Soul point
First charm.
is going to be achieved here as well for EDE, and it is going to be the Chem take Drake in this one. That's going to be important for the team to get if they can.
EDE is all
try
here.
and No, they're not going to contest this inhibitor. They just let it fall, and why not? Because they have enough
Wait, Mundo
damage to
separated?
kill the whole wave. Even with the Baron, Sancerino face tanks that turret, and they will get another objective. They're slowly cracking open the base. It's methodical, but they can't take the team fight. There's just so much threat. If they take a team fight in a bad position here, Crims, the game could be over.
They should utilize Sancerino on the side lane, but instead he gets caught. The fight ensuing might be the doom of Timeless Harmony. They want to play split push. Don't play this 5v5. You're not going to win.
Everybody up there in the top lane. This game is on a knife's edge. One false move from either team. I want to say either team, but you're going to need two false moves from Dogman and Taylor Swift if you actually want to lose this game, because the damage again is relentless. This Veigar has his Onyas back up now. Flash available. No summoners on the AD carry, so they're just looking to stall out this Baron and play it slow. And why the hell not, Crims? Because it's just letting their carries get even more money in their pockets, and I believe Veigar's last item will be that Banshee's Veil.
Banshee's Veil going to prevent the Mumu engage, so Dogman, thinking defensively, has enough damage already to half health at most of TLH, so it makes sense for him to go for the more defensive items here. At full defensive, Crown, Zoni's Banshees, it's going to be a hard to kill Veigar despite the loss of mobility for that champion. Now, they're playing the split push game from Timeless Harmony. I think this is way better. They operate better as a 1-3-1 comp, in my opinion. And we'll see if they're going to be able to pull it off. They can separate members of Taylor Swift and Dogman and go for those individual picks. I mean, look at their kit. It's made for picks. They haven't really been getting them. They've just been forcing these fights. This 1-3-1 will help them achieve that. I think they're. I don't know if they can get in with this Baron though, Lamb. It's just looking too difficult.
You have to get this Veigar off the map. I believe you have to get him before you get the Zeri. But you need to make sure you play the fight correctly, and that inhibitor in the top side will be the next focus. They have a Baroned up cannon, but look how quickly that dies. That siege does not last a long time, and they're going to get that Ornn to answer the set. He's tanky. He's got 3 items in there as well, so it's not an easy task to actually kill the Ornn and break open the base in the bot lane, but they don't have a turret up here in the top, so that inhibitor is always going to be under threat here. Is that Baron? Can you see how long they've got left on this? I don't believe we can. It's probably close to timing out right there, but the cage lands onto Mundo OP. The Mumu going to be locked up with the opposing jungler, and they will kill one. Show. That's one 5v4 engaged. The top laners are making the rotation around. Ornn coming into the back here. Oh, the current call kills.
Sornaz is dead.
Dogman gets the ultimate onto the Mumu. Maybe that's a questionable decision. Taylor Swift goes across the wall.
Oh,
it gets the lead by Ari. That might be a crucial mistake. Pally gets the kill onto the AD carry. Showstopper. Dogman flashes away. Ari
the charm
set up for the charm, and does get it with the Orb of Deception and helps with the Haymaker. It's Pally against 2. This could be it. He gets brought back in, but a tank killer is set. Flashes forward with the Bellow's Breath. Kills the Ari. Pally pin up the defense, and the supers are in the base. No more Baron, but Sancerino is healthy enough to get a Demolish proc on the Nexus turret. It might not be enough. The death timers are not that low, as Macho will be back up and they defend it again, Crims.
They somehow survived despite Taylor Swift dying in the front end of that fight. They get 2 inhibs, though. That is a huge deal. They don't have the Dragon Soul stack, so they can delay that at least. But Sancerino, I mean, we've probably been ignoring a little bit of Sancerino because of the level of power of Dogman and Taylor Swift. But Sancerino has been the guiding light for Timeless Harmony multiple times, saving things on the back end of the play. And that one, pushing out Pally, getting a turret, coming around the flank and killing Dogman. I mean, Sancerino, who else can do it? It's only him who had the strong leading lane for the side of Timeless Harmony here. Hopefully they can use this to get a dragon. But another 5v5. I don't know if they get another shot like that, getting that Taylor Swift kill. Alu Power had some really nasty charms in that game. That last fight.
Very close, very close. And I feel like that was Taylor Swift's undoing. That's why the ticket prices are so much, is because once the show is going. You don't want to take your eyes off of it. Actually, it doesn't even justify it, Crimps. Taylor Swift, good artist, but you know what? Those ticket prices, we're all in an economical situation where it doesn't factor in, and it doesn't factor into this game either. So who knows why Lamb's talking about it. But we reach it again. Full build going to be completed for Dogman now. All items on the board for the AD carry and Taylor Swift. They are certainly just pure scaling now. There's no more damage that can come from the itemization of these champions, and this game is one fight away from being over. Both teams on soul point, 29 to 29. It doesn't get much closer than this, Crims, 40 minutes in.
All right, Pally responding to the wave has TP, but this does mean that there is that TP delay if a fight breaks out. On the other side, San Sereno pushing in topside. That's going to draw some pressure over, but I don't know if they feel confident to start the Baron without their top laners. San Sereno is coming around. This is going to be a 5v5.
In trouble again. They'll commit the teleport.
Wait,
and that's
Sornaz
going to
is
be
exposed.
Pally left alone. Curtain call comes down from the Jhin. They will tag out Pally. A charm goes on. He's going to tank for a lot of time there as the lightning crash comes out from Taylor Swift trying to take over the fight. But Veigar will get the jungler. San Sereno gets knocked up, and that's a lot of damage coming back. Masho gets endless banquet reset. Dashes back. Dogman going forward. Already used the case. Taylor
Swift goes in
so aggressively with a burst damage. Ultra Shock just misses Alu power. But EDE win the team fight. They only lose their front line.
In a late game slugfest, I said EDE would win, and it's showing. The Ornn is too tanky. They spend all the CC, valuable lockdown onto an Ornn, and Dogman and Taylor Swift are free firing in the back of these fights, and now they give up this Baron to Masho. The attack speed of this Bel'Veth is shown in full effect. Also finally getting that scaling. Masho looking to be finally tanky enough to survive in the front line. And the first time we have full map control for EDE. Lamb, they play the scaling game better than anyone else in this league. And I think every team has to be having that fear in their back of the mind. When the EDE lock in a scaling comp, and you have to say to yourselves, we have to close out this game or else this is going to happen.
It's not a great feeling. You've been in control for so long, and all of a sudden, now that Baron for the first time is on emotional damage, so they can stall the game even more. They're choking them out here, Crims. That clock is probably out of battery by now. It's you know, they're not even close to being done with this. Yeah, it's 42 minutes into the game, a scaling composition. It's still no level 18 for Masho, but it's a good thing that you mentioned that Bel'Veth, because right now an additional 76% attack speed, that's just ridiculous, is just gonna eat through people, and that's only the Bel'Veth GA completed as well, above and beyond. Oh, where did San Sereno go? He went into the pocket of Dogman. He collects another one. 13 kills in this game, as now they get a chance to siege this one up. Ornn is not here, by the way. Alu power hits the station to stay alive. Lightning crash comes down from the Zeri. Masho still tanking the turret. They get the kill on the turret. The Sona keeps the jungler alive. Inhibitor will fall. Curtain call comes out, trying to thread the eye of the needle to get Masho. Big crate goes on to Sornaz, but will heal it right back up. Is now those Nexus turrets for Timeless Harmony are now under threat for the first time in this game. Can they get any more? Masho ducking and diving, trying to throw that wrench. If you can dodge that, then that's pretty good. Is the first turret going to go down here? Primordial Burst goes onto the melee to get the jungler. Masho will get the resurrection from the Guardian Angel, and Taylor Swift will put a cherry on the cake as they even out this series.
All right, we have to give it up to EDE. They play their style, and they play it well. Dogman, excellent, beautiful, magnificent performance on the Veigar. Really held that mid game down for Taylor Swift and the rest of the team to scale. And at that point on, people in the actual definition of the word. People say that, but this is the true meaning of the deletions, the primordial burst coming in, just slaying people left and right. I mean, Lamb, this is what EDE does. This is where their mental comes in, their emotional damage comes through. I mean, how can you win the next game after this one? So much effort was poured in, so many plays were made to get to a point where you could almost win, and then it was taken away from you at the last moments. This is This is the full force of emotional damage.
Dogman drug tested. I mean, we might need to pass that on to Vega, the champion itself, but as that game transpired there, it's such a good point, right? They were in such control, timeless harmony. It looked like they were going 2-0. We were questioning the draft off the stream for EDE, saying that this is such confidence that they're showing, picking a hyper scaling team composition, right? Belveth wasn't really a factor in that game until the very end. I mean, the plus 76% attack speed on the passive. I believe Dogman had about 370 additional AP coming through from that phenomenal evil power. So the farming of both of these champions, I mean, look at the CS numbers. You got 350 CS on the Veigar, you got 386 on the Zeri. And if you're not going to accelerate early, you need to keep up that CS in department. And you could see that the real Natsu was delayed to get a final item. You can see Ari doesn't have all items in that game, even 44 minutes into the game. So they fell behind in that department. They were so tunneled on trying to win the game that they forgot to actually keep scaling up themselves. And that was ultimately their undoing. They couldn't end the game and they got outscaled.
I think, unfortunately, they didn't really flex their strongest member to the full potential. Sansarino on the top on the set was dominating the Ornn in the side lane, and that could have opened up many positions for a 5v4 against emotional damage. Imagine those fights without that Ornn in the front line. It's a lot more difficult for them, especially since the fact Michaud was not really tanky only until level 18 final, has 3 items in the late game. So I think that these are macro mistakes being made from TLH trying to close out this game. Didn't flex their strongest member, didn't flex the split push. Maybe not a style they're used to. And EDE, they eat that for breakfast. If you are making a mistake in terms of closing out the game, they are so good at sticking around and making it tough for you to close out. And those 5v5s and 4v4s, that's not how you beat that comp, especially at that point in the game.
Well, we all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It sets you up for the rest. And especially, it kind of depends what you have. By the way, if you have something in the stomach, then it can certainly lead you places. It doesn't matter, because we're going to get to a small break. And when we come back, we'll get prepped in for the finale of week 1 of Conqueror EDE Timeless Harmony Game 3 right after this.
How you gonna play it? How you gonna play it when you ain't seen nothing this player? Me and my squad gon' turn on the squash like we don't see no other players. Ain't nothing to squash, ain't nothing to solve. You played and you already did. I'm ready to mob, I'm ready to mosh, shit moving with nobody scared. Keep pushing my buttons, I might push a button and have my boy push up and slay. I made a decision to enter the lair. You better enter prepared. I seen it vividly, my vision of victory. I kill him and split the scene. Click with me, you never feel defeat. Learn how to heal from heat. I showed up to show out until the show ends. Bet they wanna know how I made it a no-win. It's gonna be a blowout. Once I get the blow in, I just put it blow in. Show me my opponent.
It starts right here,
Push up yourself on enemies.
and it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here,
It's on me.
and if you wanna
to turn down a fight. Knock 'em out, good night. I brought light when there was no sight. None of four in sight. I got stripes down to take a life. Won't take it in strike. Ain't no might if some babies. I display my might. Yeah, I come to rig the game. It's fun, but it ain't no games. I shun them all in a minute. I got them and bit them up like it was state. I showed up to show out until the show end. Bet they wanna know how I made it a no-win. It's gonna be a blowout. Once I get the blow in, I just put it blow in. Show me smell of money.
It starts right here.
Push up yourself on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here.
It's you and me.
And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up.
Push up and step on enemies. I came to conquer all the energy. Ain't no regrets, it's him or me. Blast them away, away. Once we engage in combat, it ain't really no comeback from that. The squad, the angelic slum rats. Came for the cash, where the funds at. Came with the swag of a war pack. You see the sword, it's my award. I tried to warn you and your pack. So if I started you, it's your bad.
It starts right here.
Push up and step on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here. And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up.
Support system on the rear. Face front, come say so.
Hey, back doors are clear.
Chain tie, can't play no.
Well fed, we eatin'.
The motto is to push for it. The ops stay too wuss for it. Like matter of fact, we creeping, now we sneaking. Enemy highs, we be seeking. Lurking the waters and bushes, oh man. Crude eyes, we deepen. All of you die, one at a time. Those are the facts, we don't throw dice. Ready to fire, ready or not, we letting it gone. Bang, 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 bang. Wake up, we want war. Y'all know what time it is. Paint road on this ground floor. All we throw is fists. To the core we lit. Rain down abyss. Set it up like this.
Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Burn it up, burn it up.
Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Burn it up, burn it up. Too many enemies. Too many enemies. Too many enemies. Yeah. Too many enemies. Too many enemies.
Game 3, well underway, actually. These guys just say, you know what, casters, you guys can catch up. You know, you play the catch up normally. You guys can get up to speed. You know how it's going to go. Anyway, we're just past the banner phase already. Crims, take us through the bans.
Well, I think they're afraid of Nyla on this round for some reason. Volibear going to be taken away. We have basically similar bans. It's all about how you play, both of these teams are saying. The Udyr first pick seems to be massive prio for EDE. I don't think it is first pick worthy, but we'll see. It does counter that Amumu, so
Ornn
don't
is,
want to pick
I'll
that.
tell you that much.
Yeah,
Ornn-
Ornn has been the one this game has this series, hasn't it?
Certainly for me, I mean, it offers you everything, right? If you're that comfortable in the champion, you can 1v1 pretty much anybody relentlessly. I mean, maybe Fiora is a question. Actually, Fiora still available. Maybe we'll see that. Gwen still available. You know, there's a Camille still available. There's a lot of answers that you can take in to that Ornn in the top lane. Okay, they're going to run it back with the Sejani as well. I really like that pickup. So they're showing a big beefy front line already, Crims. Now you need to get answers from EDE to actually punch through that or fight back front to back very successfully. So you need something that's going to have a lot of DPS. What are you expecting from EDE here?
Well, they do have Taylor Swift, and basically Taylor Swift on any hypercarry should be a-okay. I mean, Zeri's open. They're shying away from Zeri Yumi. I do think that's for good reason, but I don't think they should really be afraid to pick the Zeri Yumi. Okay,
Darius was banned last game. And it
Pally
gets picked up.
wants the Darius into the Ornn. He's going to chop down this goat and have him for dinner. We'll see if Pally can do that up against San Sereno up on the top side. But this is an aggressive pick to match that Ornn. It is a counter. I do think Fiora does better, but Darius has better front line. And you were mentioning that they need some front line here for their team. And why not? You need meatballs in
Oh.
front of your Taylor Swift. And they liked Dogman on Vagar so much. They're going to do it again. Blind pick.
This is actually something that I was going to say I would expect, because what does the one thing that Ornn and Sejan actually, Ornn can go unstoppable, but it's a very small amount of distance
Yeah,
that he
he
can
can't walk
cover with
over the
that.
cage. He
Yeah.
can't walk over the cage with
So
it.
that cage again, and we've seen Dogman several times in that game too. His cages are on point. Ziggs.
Oh, is that? I mean, it's not really a counter. Maybe a flex bot lane is what they're thinking about here. Take over the bot lane with a prio bot style. I do wonder, do they ban the Zeri? I mean, Taylor Swift has performed so many times on this champion. Are you going to give it? I mean, it's almost iconic at this point, Lamb. Do you give Taylor Swift their star champion? I don't know.
It's hard to say here. Well, there's your answer.
Okay, there we
I
go.
was
There
about
we
to
go.
say it's difficult to say, but not when it's actually in the second phase of the banning. So they take that away. And I was actually going to come back and say that it's going to be very hard, skill orientated wise, to ban out Taylor Swift, because we've seen many a times multiple AD carries, looks comfortable, doesn't look out of place no matter what he plays. So we'll see what that blank space is going to be filled with. We're going to
Oh
see.
my God.
Yeah, it's coming out. Look, game 3, I was saving it, baby. Look, look, look. If they go all the way, if ED go all the way, I'll give everybody my promise right now. If they win Titans Conqueror, I will sing Blank Space for everybody after the game. How's that?
All right. You know,
Not
Lamb,
this game. Not this game.
no, if they win, Lamb, I'm your co-caster, and in this, I feel like I have to join you. All right. If emotional damage win, you're going to be gifted with Lamb and Crims
Yep.
duetting Blank Space by Taylor Swift. I hope they don't win now, but
No, I don't
I feel
either,
like we
but-
have to. I feel like they have to pony up something if they don't win
Yep.
to make it even. It'll be less because they have to win the championship, but whatever. Siver gets locked in here. It's going to be offering Ornn and Sejuani. I really don't want to sing it. Ornn and Sejuani
No.
that engage, the ability to run in and get a better engage, and going to be making up for the lack of Ziggs damage in team fights.
Well, look,
How does
Crims,
EDE respond?
this is a just as a side note to that last point. So this is a new business adventure, because Taylor Swift charges astronomical prices. But if Lamb and Crims do it, big band style, by the way, it's not your traditional. It's going to be big band. We're going to have the whole thing Frank Sinatra-esque, blank space style. We can start charging even half of what she's charging, and everybody will still be happy.
Oh man, you know,
Absolute nonsense. It's
I'm
Vayne
afraid
is
someone's
locked.
gonna. Yeah, Vane's gonna look. I'm afraid someone's going to clip that and demand we sing it when emotional damage. I don't know
Like,
if
it's
they
not-
pull off
it-
anything.
it's
It's
not
no,
in-
only if they
it-
win, guys.
Only if they win. Not one game, the whole thing, 10 weeks. It's a long time away. And by the time that happens, me and Crims would have hit the high road by then.
Yeah,
maybe.
we're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fired because
cashing out.
the ATT comment and Lamb's gonna be gone. As Rel is gonna be the last one locked in for emotional damage. They'll be providing more frontline emotional damage. They like frontline as well as that CC engage factor that they're lacking. Udyr Darius not the best engagers. Rel is not the best, but is capable of fulfilling that role. And now, look at this. Timeless Harmony said, hey, you guys kept using that Sona. I think they want to take that for their own spin here. Sona Sivir bot lane is definitely going to have a hard scaling factor versus the Vayne and Rel. Taylor Swift, though, on the Vayne. We'll see. Can you cut these tanks down? Can you get that positioning with that low range? People do like playing it into the Sivir. I'm interested to see. Taylor Swift, can you play everything?
That's the question on everybody's lip. But I do want to come back to this team composition that EDE have. So it's kind of interesting, because it's kind of like, well, we're playing for the lanes, but we still have the Vagar. It's an insurance policy. I mean, the Vayne is going to scale anyway. Going into the Sivir, that's kind of an even matchup unless you get that 1v1 as the Vayne. Then that's a dream that you can actually get on Sivir if she doesn't have that spell shield. Can you spell shield the third proc of those
No,
silver
no,
bowls? You can't. Okay.
no, you can't do that.
All right, unlucky. If that was a world that we live in, then that's going to be a nightmare for Vayne. So just as well. But the Ziggs throws a curveball into this game as well because again, it's a champion that likes to throw from range. You know, you could argue that Sivir is going to be in that vicinity too. They have a big front line. They have a Sona to keep the carries alive. So your biggest threat getting through these lines is that Darius. There's so much. I mean, you could say that Udyr as well, right?
Yeah.
This new Udyr can become unstoppable, go through, just run through all the CC, trying to tag up one of the carries in this game. Primarily, it might be the Ziggs. If Sever has a lot more escape plans in place rather than Ziggs, he can drop the satchel and hop away. But again, they have a rel to chase that out with. So the engage is really interesting from both sides here. And if it's anything to go by that game too, we're going to see several big engages. These team fights are just going to be explosive because these guys want a 5-on-5 all the time, Crims.
Yeah, it looks like from the side of Timeless, they do have a better 5v5 comp. Now, they don't have the best control mage. You know, they could have utilized something like a Victor instead if they wanted to go for that. But they're going to just use the Sigs to provide that poke that you were talking about. It's going to be able to outrange the Veigar for pretty much the entire game. So Veigar's going to have to be dodging. Dogman, hope you play those bullet hell games here because that's going to be you in a couple of minutes. And yeah, they have the strength in the Udyr Darius. I mean, Udyr Darius so strong together in the 2v2 top side, as well as Udyr can be able to kill the Sejuani if he ever gets his hands on her in the early game. I mean, Sejuani does fight back pretty well compared to other junglers here. So that 2v2 top, I don't know. I mean, have you seen emotional damage play towards top side? They tend to ignore Pally and play for the rest of the map.
No, they usually leave Pally on an island, but of course, if you want to change things up here, then that's always encouraged, right? Because you have to make them second guess. Because going into this game, right, that last game was very disappointing for Timeless Harmony, right? They're looking to bounce back, and it's not something that they're not aware of, right? That game one, they came out on top, and that was a surprise to everybody. So they're certainly the underdogs. The Cinderella story, as we normally call it, is still online for them to actually beat the invitational champions here, and that's no undercut itself because that invitational was extremely competitive. I mean, even EDE found themselves on the receiving side of pretty much a loss in the mid game, and then they pulled out with Taylor Swift, and that's how they bounced back. So the pressure is definitely there. As I said in that last game, this one, Knife's Edge, the whole series is, and now that they've drafted these compositions as well, EDE have that brute force in the Udyr and the Darius. They have the peel factor of the Veigar and the Rel. So what is going to happen with the Vayne, and the Vayne being on the main carry in Tete? Something big is going to happen here, Crimson. It's a platform for the AD carry to really steal the spotlight in Game 3.
I think Taylor Swift has the front line to do it, and Rel can assist. I mean, Soranads does a lot better on these melee supports here. I have to say, Timeless Harmony, they've picked a better scaling comp. They're not so indexed on these early game plays this time around. Ornn, Sejuani, Sivir, Sona. They got scaling of their own, so I guess they're fighting fire with fire here, Lamb, and they're saying, okay, maybe we're not as clean with this early game comp, but we can scale too, buddy. We have that option.
Yeah, options on both sides. And I mean, it's really a mixed draft. This is probably the most closest draft that we've seen in this series. So you can tell that both of these teams are taking this very serious, right? That's the first and foremost. Nobody wants to start week one with a loss. That's the ultimate thing. But the big thing that both of these guys can take away from this game is you've seen individual performance-wise. You've seen pentakill on Nyla, running back the Sivir this time, not so much. But then Taylor Swift, of course, has that highlight play again and again. We'll be talking about Taylor Swift as this, the season drags on here. But this is really a stepping stone for Timeless Harmony, who we said in the beginning, they finished 5th in the first split. It wasn't actually the Conqueror. I believe. No, they were in the other league when they had that short split. So they finished 5th. They didn't make the playoffs. So now they're showing a different side to them. The preparation work, they've had a season to kind of think about it in the off season, and now's the time to correct it. And they've certainly put in the performance that warrants some sort of reward. Whether that's enough to actually take down EDE right now, I don't know.
Look, let's be honest, Lamb. They should have taken down EDE. EDE slipped up in game number 1, gave them the ability to bounce back, take that game. Game number 2, they had it in their hands and they fumbled it the last second. The play was dead. and they lost that game. But that's the closest we've seen EDE being out of it. And now in this game number 3, they've gone with a more mixed comp for both sides here. And I guess it's to prove, at least for today, who is the better team.
Titan fans, after this break, game 3. Don't go anywhere. The stage is set. The Colosseum is filled. The Titans, I guess you could call them gladiators in that sense, Crims, certainly titanic performances coming out from individuals across the board on these teams. Normally, when we see action happening in that top side, it's kind of referenced back in the bot side. The timings of the ganks have been phenomenal. And ultimately, like I said, the stage is set to go out and win it now. This is the final of week 1 practically, and nobody wants to be on the receiving end of a loss. But unfortunately, one team has to win and one team has to lose here. I didn't even get your prediction. Who do you think is going to take this one?
Oh man, this one is tough. If we talk about whose draft I like better, I think I actually prefer Timeless Harmony's draft. Do I think they're gonna win the game? I think the Udyr from our show is gonna be pretty effective in this one. And I think that Sona's not gonna have a very good time, and Sivir is also not gonna have a very good time. Invade coming out, they're gonna jump the gun. They're gonna try to mess with Udyr, but they're delaying their prio on the lane. Vayne might just get a free first 3 levels based off just that. And we all know that that is not a good thing for the side of Timeless Harmony here.
Oh, the good thing here is they did put a ward on that red buff, so if vertical jungling is to happen, which you can see right now, I mean, simultaneously, both junglers now creeping across that river. Sejuani going straight to the blue buff and Udyr will get to the red buff actually unseen. Oh no, Udyr's taking a long way for a shortcut. He's going towards his blue buff. He knows that Vertical jungling is on point, and they know Sejani's there.
Yeah, Vhagar left the lane suddenly, so they have an idea. Dogman level 2, Udyr of the wall.
He doesn't
Gets
get
the smite.
Oh, he does get the blue buff. Mundo flashes across. He's already used the flash, and they'll collapse.
Oh, they
First
got him.
blood to Dogman. What a collapse.
All right, Masho gonna try to run down Alu Power here. Gonna get some autos in, taking
Oh,
some
it's not
turrets. They're
over.
going for it
Wow,
though
the
with the
claws.
Q damage.
That's a great
Does
trade.
trade his life. Yeah, it does trade his life. But now setting up Dogman for some more scaling action in the mid lane. Cost of his own life, but I'd rather take that. I agree with you. Masho 2 kills on the board, and Soranad's looking for a kill. Action all across this rift coming from EDE. They don't have to just sit by and let this game go. They're going to go for the win.
Soranad stuck between both of the bot laners, but Real
Oh,
Natsu
no, the
is going to
cleanse
get the
early.
exhaust out on, and Taylor Swift is left alone. Gets the...
Oh, knockup?
wow. Soranad, yeah, collects that kill. I was about to say that Vayne was very close to dying from the Sona there. Taylor Swift actually uses both sums to get away from that, but you can see on the opposite side, in that bot lane, the only one left with the flash was Soranad's.
Yeah, Soranad's now has the ability to engage free onto Sona. This is a massive wave pushing in too. Real Natsu gonna lose CS. Being CS down against Vayne is very, very detrimental to your chances of winning. As Masho all over the map does take CS hit, but he's definitely pressuring all around here. Mundo P sneaking around. If you could get the red, wouldn't be so bad actually. Isn't gonna know that it's up. Hasn't seen Masho in a while. Doesn't know that the red has still not been taken. Pally in this top side with Sancer, so far holding down the fort, but needs to be taken down this Ornn. I want to see Masho mess around with this lane, and I want to see some leads built for this top lane if EDE really think this Darius is the answer.
So this means as well that Alu Power actually goes on the way back to the lane here. So Dogman is playing this laning phase so good on the Vhagar. Usually Ziggs is used to nullify any sort of roam, any sort of scaling potential, force that wave under the turret, but that's not how that lane is going right now. Is Alu forced back again here, Crimson? No teleport. He's going to miss even more.
Yes, that's a good point. Alu is just going to be down massive CS. Mundo has to come and help if they call for it, but that might be giving over a plate, Lamb, and Vhagar getting a plate is a good deal. So far, the scaling lanes are doing great for emotional damage, better than expected. I mean, look, I've said that many times when casting emotional damage, so they're really good at pulling this off.
Dogman just casually tanks the turret shot in that mid lane, no threat of dying for the mid laner. Ziggs is going to see Sejani look to try and collapse onto that mid lane. Very interesting. He tries to set up a dive,
Wait,
no mana,
look
but still
bottom
very
here.
risky this early on in the game.
Masho
Udyr
in
uses the
position.
blast cone to get over. Soranaz goes forward, dismounts, trying to interrupt them here. Tumble goes forward to Taylor Swift. They're going to reel up the Real Natsu. This should be a kill donated over to the Vayne. It is. Taylor Swift gets the first blood between the bot laners there and gets another one over the Sivir. 2 deaths already for the scaling AD carry of Timeless Harmony. Not looking so good, but Masho is pretty busy out there on the Rift, Crims.
Gank monster right now. Mundo P is going to have a hard time scaling the team if they're falling so far behind due to Masho. Needs to find an angle somewhere. Probably won't find it mid. Does have the level 6 opportunity as well, so could farm for that, get a gank right there, but needs to start helping his lanes ASAP because Masho is just running the map, running the show right now.
Yeah, you can't wait until those big team fights to actually get involved here. Sejani, very reliable in the early game too. You can make a lot of things happen. Of course, that permafrost is so strong. Dogman level 7 now, and he's going to get forced out of the blue side of the jungle again. Is Vayne, Rel, Udyr, the whole squad is there. The only one that's not is Pally. They might commit the teleport for it. I wouldn't be surprised. Soranaz dismounts onto Mundo. No, he's still on
Wait,
the
the real
horse there.
Natsu
Okay, he just
exposed
knocked him up.
again.
They're actually going to real Natsu is getting walked down, and I believe that is Masho. Gets Welding Claws out, burning him with a Wingborn Storm, and he will collect the kill onto the AD carry. Thanks to Turtle Shot. Mega Inferno Bomb kills the Udyr. Look for another one. Bouncing Bomb. The Ziggs gets the double kill. A little bit reasonable there. He trade back. His Soranad's left alone over there, and Sona will grab that. No triple kill, but Atlo Power, he's back in the game.
Alec Power gets 3 kills from seemingly nowhere. The Mega Bomb did so much work in finishing off the kill. Unfortunately, though, Dogman also managed to get a kill on the back end of that with Primordial Bursts. So Dogman and Alu Power looking pretty neck and neck right now. A little bit cheeky, Dogman there, trying to get in some damage. As Pally, that is a huge wave. It's going to be picked up by Sanserino, though. No punish available. Yeah, let's just take a look at our game state. Dogman, Alu Power. Dogman's still a little bit up in the matchup. Good news for them. Taylor Swift up huge. It's almost a 600 gold lead. Probably EXP lead as well. The real Natsu is going to need some real help really soon, because this Vayne is going to be able to 1v1 this Sivir anytime in the game, and that is really going to play towards the strengths of Taylor Swift. We don't want Taylor Swift to be in a good position if you're a fan of Timeless Harmony, because that is one of the primary carries. They really play well through this player.
And you can really see that Vayne is such a good champion in a Sivir, actually, and when you're ahead, it's even better. As the fend off Griff actually gets a level 6.
Wait, this is a level 6 advantage. Yeah.
Crescendo available. It doesn't look like they're going to take that window. Sejani is going to come down here as well. Glacial Prison is going to be readily available as well. But I believe if they get the wave, actually, they'll hit level 6. They're very close. I believe the Vayne's closer. Yeah, there's level 6 for Taylor Swift, and that will negate the dive. They can't dive the Vayne, especially when Soranides is still mounted up like that.
Soranads, if ever gets level 6, can just use the Magnet Storm and completely negate the dive. They're going to try to poke out the Vayne. That is a good strategy. Vayne is terrible at trading, especially in poke situations. Dogman, though, finds himself in the jungle against Mundo OP, and Pally looking for some damage onto the Ornn. It's just not happening. It's not happening. I've seen that so many times already. Pally gets the pull in. Ornn just ram rushes away and just completely negates the trade. I don't know if Darius is the answer, guys. I mean, look, Sanserio can't play into Pally, but Pally can't get the kill.
It'll take a long time to actually burn down the Ornn, and the longer the game goes on, it's going to prove even harder. So maybe I missed the window up there in the top side, albeit that Pally will be used pretty conveniently for the rest of his team. The longer this game goes on as a frontline damage to bleed out the Sejani and the Ornn if it even comes to that, but you need the damage to follow it up. That's the most important. Glacial Prison doesn't land from Mundo. Very interesting that no Arctic Assault forward. Usually use that to cut the gap and you guarantee that ultimate landing, but just not playing the Sejani as well as he probably hopes.
Well, we've seen Mundo OP land it before. I think that one's just a bit of a YOLO. Just, why not? As we have Masho. He can run down the Sivir and the Sona.
Yeah, they're going to exhaust the Udyr, but that's probably not the one. You get the Night Hunter passive coming out with the Vayne final hour. Going to go down as well. Condemns the Sona into the wall. Taylor Swift actually BMing by attacking the Sivir instead there. I'm sure that was purposeful, but collects the kill regardless. Again, the catalyst in making that happen, Masho.
Taylor Swift, Blade of the Rune King completed. The real Natsu, Noon Quiver. This is not an even matchup. They've accelerated their Vayne. Mission accomplished. 1,000 gold up. Gonna get some more with this plate. That just added tacked on 200 right there. Masho putting a lot of pressure down onto the Sivir and the Sona. Working out well. I did say, right when you asked me for predictions what was going to happen, I did say Masho on the Udyr was going to run them down. And, well, he's running them down.
On that crystal ball being activated for game 3. That's a respectable decision here, Crims. See how that transpires, because right now that snowball, this is the most gold lead we've seen in a while. 3,000 this early on in the game, 2,900 if you want to be specific about it. And for this composition, again, Dogman having a great game, actually has a shutdown on him, but it's going to be difficult to actually lock down that Veigar every time he's got that event horizon up. And he's doing the smart thing. He's keeping the lane pretty even with that Ziggs. So he doesn't necessarily have to leave that lane. So there's no kill threat on this Veigar. And look at either side of the river right now. Pink in the top side, regular ward in that brush on the south side of it. He can see everything that's happening around that vicinity. So there's no threat in dying, which is really smart coming through from EDE. You don't want this man falling in that mid lane.
And so far, Mundo OP does not have flash for the extra engage range. Not to mention, I don't even know if Ziggs can follow up enough damage. Masho solo taking the dragon. Udyr has that percent health, very strong at getting objectives like that. Mundo OP is on the opposite side, does clear out that vision you were just talking, you're toting about, as potentially looking in on an angle to secure San Sereno a lead. Has the Jack Show completed, by the way, so gets to the first mythic as well.
Oh, Natsu does clear that wave, but I don't think it's enough. Yeah, they got to retreat here. Masho goes straight on in Natsu. No,
Oh, Dogman wants it.
Gets him in the cage, can't flash out of it now, and they'll
Oh,
engage.
beautiful
And
Rel.
Storm pulls both in. Set up kindly. Taylor Swift grabs one, and again, Dogman feast. He gets another kill. Both carries with 3 kills in this game.
Beautiful Rel engage from Soranads. Times the Magnet Storm with the knock up at the same time. Gets them both. Looked like they were going a little too far, but it does work out. That's the play they were looking for. Taylor Swift, it has been activated. Dogman has been activated. Lamb, I mean, unless something drastic happens, I think EDE are just going to take this one clean.
It's hard to say otherwise in this game. We've not even really spoken about the top lane. San Sereno and Pali are well on an island. And Darius can't necessarily leave that. That's the thing, because Ornn now has the ability to push that lane, no problem. That's one thing that Ornn is really good for. He can really get those waves down very quickly to try and even things up. But I do believe Pali just pulled that wave, so that wave is now slow pushing. Albeit it might freeze up for a little bit, but it will make its way back towards San Sereno. But again, we're still waiting for that big engage. The Ornn hasn't had an opportunity to make that happen, and Sejani, again, this early game is not being so great from Mundo OP here.
Mundo OP hasn't found much. And to be honest, it is hard with the lane state as it is now, but not before, not earlier. They're looking for a bit of a cheeky play. Can they get Taylor Swift?
Oh.
They're walking right past. They have no idea there is a gigantic boar with a woman on it on the other side of this wall.
Look behind you. It's like a pantomime. He's behind you. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Mundo OP comes across, tags up the Soren Nads with the permafrost not going to be available. Crescendo gets cleansed.
Oh, they're turning it around.
And this is set up for Taylor Swift. That's one. We're just taking bodies are hitting the floor. Matt Shaw realizes they might need a little bit of backup at that final hour. One more tumble should do it, and Griff the Redeemer can redeem that one as a triple kill goes back over to Tete in the bot lane.
Oh, look who is here, Dogman. He's upset.
Dogman.
He wanted that kill, Lamb. He wanted that
yeah.
kill. They didn't give it to him, and now he's inting in this game. Titan Esports, I think there's a fine for intentionally inting. We could throw that over to Dogman here. But look at this. I mean, Lamb, this game should be over. Is it going to be over? They've thrown game number 1 before, but it's looking a lot better around this time. They have 2 games, and yeah, maybe we could talk about this int onto Dogman. Someone clip that. Someone clip that, and whenever Dogman gets on his high horse, we can just send him that clip.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, that's the kind of ego we're dealing with, I guess. Dogman just says, "Yeah, you guys want to
bad dog.
take all my
Bad
kills."
dog.
Yeah,
Bad dog. No, down.
Oh, regardless. Speaking of dogs, got nothing to do with Shelly, but they're gonna take that one away as well. Masho all over the map. 2, 2, and 7, 9 KP out of possible 12. And Darius 0, 0, and 1. You could potentially say that both of the top laners are just in that gentleman's agreement. They're just saying, you know what, the rest of these fools are in, and they're doing their thing. Let's just farm up the wave. And Darius is winning in the farm pretty heavily
Yeah,
at
that
this
came
point
out of
in the game.
nowhere. It was even, so I guess during that bot side fight, something happened up here, and San Sereno missed a bunch of farm. Now Pally with a 200 gold lead. Oh, sorry, gold bounty, 250, as it just changes on that last
250.
CS. Without securing a single kill, only a CS. I do not like this system, but it is here. It just shows how much money Darius is up against this Ornn. It's basically 900 without a kill, without a single kill.
I'll never say never for the top laner. Pally obviously feeling better. Being on that Darius, the Ornn performance as well was pretty good. Jelly going to be dropped in that mid lane. Takes that one down. I believe it's just, can I click the turret? Yeah, there we go. Just over 1,000 health on that first tier in the mid lane, and Ziggs constantly having to use all his mana in order to try and keep up with the wave clearing of Taylor, Swift, and Sorenad's here as they force another wave. And they'll look to crack this one open. Does get the cannon, so can't stay for that one too much of a threat, but you get the mastery coming out. Taylor Swift enjoying it out there, Crims. Oh,
yeah,
Dogman.
Oh yeah, Dogman has been roaming quite a bit on this Veigar as well.
Yeah,
so
remember
not
the
only
bot
is he,
side?
yeah, he's been there multiple times, and the last trip for some reason didn't really like that one. As I mean, Alu Power has been pushed in on Ziggs of all things. Aggression coming out from Sarnads looking for the play as they secure another dragon.
Oh, Glacial Prison lands
Wait a
on a
minute.
Dogman. Crescendo lands on a Taylor Swift, but being released now, and the damage goes back. Baleful Strike will collect Sejani. A sack onto the phenomenal Evil Power being achieved as Alu Power takes a heavy trade against the Vayne, who is having a great game. 6 kills to the good. Look at the bounties across the board. Crim's already mentioned 250 for the Darius. 2 pickaxes. I mean, maybe he thinks he's playing a little bit in Minecraft right now, but he's got them in the inventory regardless. Sorenaz takes a negative trade, and Taylor Swift eating the ricochet boomerang
Wait, they're
blade
on
doesn't
Natsu?
connect the back, but will get his shot down. Drops AD
huge
carry, a little bit
shutdown.
overconfidence. Wingborn Storm being dropped on Natsu. He's burning. Oh, wow. And the heal comes out from Sona to keep him alive. Masho is a force to be reckoned with this demonic embrace.
All right, T-Swift, that was a mistake. You just handed over 800 gold to your adversary for no good reason as well. No reason to push up. Look at this bounty from Pally just growing steadily here. 300 gold now without doing anything. Masho has the CC immunity and burns the flash. There we go. Easy. Easy.
Oh, Ziggs might be in trouble here. Pally does have
Dogman.
flash. Apprehends the Ziggs back. He gets ever frosted and put in the dirt. I mean, that was a little bit overkill there, but made it work regardless. And Dogman got to feel good about that. He's not going to run it down. He gets a kill after that small skirmish. Maybe he said, this one's mine, and we're not going to leave it to the coin flip there, as they're now sieging in that mid lane again.
Wait
But
a minute.
Baron, very close to spawning here. Dogman. Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
Yeah, Griff hightailing it. Gonna have to back after that one.
I thought that was a kill on the Dogman, though. Crescendo could have came out anytime, stunned up for the real Natsu to come in there and pick up that kill. Has the biggest bounty right now. With the threat that they have, they're going to go for this Baron. They want the fight. If they walk in, it might not be the fight they want to take from Timeless Harmony, though.
Oh, Mundo
Oh,
P
perfect
gets
zone.
pushed back. Well done from Sornaz. Magnet Storm on 3. Veigar misses with a W. Sornaz will get out of there. They're following up the damage with the Sivir. Ricochets are happening here. Only got the Kraken Slayer and they got the Zeal item there as well. So enhanced crit going to come through as Ornn gets the kill. Gets the shutdown onto Veigar. So more gold going back. They lose 2, but they still walk away with the Baron. But they do not have the supremacy to defend this mid lane turret. A bounty certainly going to go over here.
They went for the Baron, and the fight after was a bit greedy. They pulled right in to Call of the Forge God range, and now they're giving up some turrets here.
Oh, that was a flash
Oh,
from
yeah.
Sejani.
Wait, that's a
Condemned
mistake.
into the wall, and Vayne will get that kill. Griff has to use the flash and tanks the turret. They're greeding for the second tier. They will get it, but at what cost? The jungler falls 5th time in the game.
2 minutes up on this dragon as well. They have the Baron on the side of VDE, so this should be what they need to close out and get the soul. They lost a couple Barons, though, so that is going to make that a little bit more difficult. But in terms of the straight-up fight, they can take it. As long as they don't overengage like the last one, Lem, they're going to be able to pretty much easily, swiftly pick up this dragon if it is contended by Timeless Harmony here. So they have the map control as well. Sarnads, look at this on the map, is there super early and is laying down the vision, getting some nice traps set up as well. Rel really likes those pockets of vision to engage into, and so far Sarnads is a very good engager on Rel. I mean, how many Magnet Storms have we seen that were top
Beautiful
notch?
engages. Minimum 3 people every single time, and you can see Sornad's really stepping up for the team where it's needed. 7,000 is that gold lead, though. The one thing that Timeless Harmony do have is a Sivir with the crit item completed right now. Taylor Swift actually contesting that blue buff, but thank God Sejani probably gets the first one of the game. That's got to be a positive there, Crims.
Oh, man, that's sad times. This first blue buff is at 22 minutes in. Has the Radiant Virtue as well.
Oh, this is what
And
we want to see in the top side.
yeah, Pally
Dogman.
took more damage there. Dogman
Dogman
gets
taking
caught
the
out.
Veigar. Okay, Mundo OP gets the blue buff and gets a kill. Okay, they're on the up and up. The ascendancy being achieved. Teleport available for both.
Oh,
the top
wow,
lane. No,
huge
Horn doesn't
engage.
have it right now. The engage going to happen anyway. Sorna's trying to beef up the front line, and there's going to be crits coming through from this Sivir. Vayne tags down Sejani. Zig's going to kill Rel. They're following up, peeling back. Look at the peel actually from both of the teams here. Sona returns fire. Taylor Swift in trouble in that kill. That's a double kill for the healing support Griff.
Lamb, without their AoE in Dogman, they just don't have enough damage to clean up a team fight. Taylor Swift does a lot of damage, but it's single target. You have to knock them down one at a time. And so despite the great engage from Sornads, getting a 4-man ulti into a 4-man stun, that's not enough time for this Vayne to win the team fight. They needed Dogman. They needed their Veigar there to supply that AoE. But there is one good thing that did happen for them. Pally picks up the turret on the top side. Not a single kill to his name. 45 gold bounty. And is the killer. So far has only decimated turrets.
Well, the one thing I want to question there is actually from EDE. There was a teleport advantage, albeit it was probably about 10 seconds that Pally had. He had a very successful trade with the Ornn up there prior to that team fight and didn't pull the trigger to come down there and help. And if they won that team fight, they would have achieved soul. So that win condition would have been resorted to earlier. So it looks like EDE, they're going for the long haul here, Crims. They're making it harder for themselves.
EDE, I think you're just playing a little too greedy. They think they can get everything. Despite, like, oh, Dogman's dead. We still win the team fight. Oh, Sansaruna's teleporting. We're still good, Pally. You can get that top tier turret. They're just going for everything, and they're giving up the most important objective as they're doing so. That in that dragon, yeah, they get the turret, but yeah, I agree with you, Pally. It's better to devote Pally to getting that soul than that top tier turret.
I feel like that turret falls regardless. Top lane, it's been on the island in this game. I'll go back to saying it. There's not been any action up there, and certainly Pally has that push. Now level 16, farming like a god, by the way. 256 CS. He's averaging about just over 10.5 CS per minute right now. Pally is an absolute monster to be reckoned with. Death Dance going to be complete for the Darius as well. But we're still waiting for that introduction to the team fights for this top laner.
Pally just trying to keep Ornn away from the team. I think that is an excellent idea. Mount the pressure on the side lane. Make sure he can never join. That's going to be more effective than Darius and Ornn at the team fight here, Lamb. Dogman doing the Dogman things, laying down the cages, laying down the Everfrost, zoning them away. They want this mid lane position here, and that makes a lot of sense. Baron in 30 seconds, and it looks like EDE have the better spot.
Oh, here comes Pally now. That will be Arctic assaulted away. Sejani respecting that engage that can come from the Darius, quickly stacking those bleed passive stacks on anybody here will be devastating if he can get those Noxie and Guillotine resets off. Really putting it on a stage for Pally to do something in this game. Was very influential in that invitational tournament. for emotional damage, looking to carry that same form. It's kind of been stopping and starting, but traditional Fnatic Death Brush here. Who's going to face check this? It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
flash,
Lands
apprehend.
on a tree there. They will collapse back in with the rail with the Magnet Storm as well. And Alud Power gets a little bit of damage off, kills the Vega. Darius
Dogman's
doing the thing.
dead.
Decimate is going to heal him infinitely. Here is itself for Udyr. It collapsed through. They're brute forcing their way through the team here. And Taylor Swift will finish that one off as the Sejani falls. They pull the trigger and they get rewarded for it. Baron on the map.
Pally on the engage with a Darius. A flash apprehend. Pulls in 3 Sornads, falls on top. Dogman unloads the kit, but doesn't do enough damage. Taylor Swift, though, we know that this man is good for the damage. Cleans up the rest of the fight. And now they're winning this Baron. Should lead right into the Dragon this time around. Hopefully, they don't mess this up 2 times in a row. Surely, emotional damage, you're going to clean this one up.
Pally is so accelerated in this game. He's been that sleeper in the top lane. Haven't discussed him, haven't mentioned anything. Just kind of reiterate the fact that he's against Ornn and it's a wet noodle fight and nothing really happening. Look at the CS disparity up there, Crims. That is insane. This man is understood. I'm going to be left alone this game. What can I do? Well, I can make sure I get every single CS that comes to the lane. Eat that up, get the experience. Level 17 and looking like a catalyst in these team fights that can end it very, very quickly.
Sansarino hasn't died that much either here, Lamb, so must have been forced back multiple times, trying to go for these plays. Not too successful either with the KP, and Pally has more participation than Sansarino on the tank here, so the Pally pressure has come through, and now they're using this Baron to secure the mid lane turret. A bit of an overcommit from this bot side from Timeless, and they might just be giving up their entire mid lane for a opportunity, not even a guaranteed dragon.
Yeah, Pally will abide by that. He's actually crashing that wave right now.
All right, they're pulling
in
the
our
trigger.
turret. Solid Forge going to go through. Only lands onto the back lane, which is where you want to be. Sornaz gets
Oh!
the Magnet Storm in the Vega, gets Primordial Burst on Inatsu, has to peel it back and get the Ricochets out. Udyr will drop the front line. That's the Sejani already gone here. They're going to burst down that tank. That is going to be the Ornn.
Taylor
That
Swift.
Vayne is doing so much work. 3 items to the good.
Oh,
Dogman
my
sets it up,
show.
drops a W on that one as well. Noxie and Guillotine doesn't get that one, but they get the ace, and this might be the game.
Pally literally only at 1 team fight the entire game, and now they're marching to victory. And they are just outplaying. They had the scale. They have Sornads on this rel. Masho getting accelerated. Massive pressure in the game, and multiple times runs down the Sona, Sivir, and Dogman supplying that burst. And we all know Taylor's story here. But it looks like for this final game, they came together as a team. And besides the one int play from Dogman, they
man.
were really setting it up as a, we're gonna carry this last game as a team. Are you a Dog fan here, Lamb? This
He's the goodest of boys, in my opinion. He's the goodest of boys. I mean, oh,
well, he
no.
peed on the rug, but otherwise, he was quite good.
Oh, we'll probably need to get some more spray in the face kind of thing. But I mean, in the face, it was certainly the way that Dogman played that game. Got the Veigar twice, was just phenomenal on it. I mean, the ability to manipulate the lane, to force the Ziggs back. They picked the Ziggs thinking that, you know what, we can keep Dogman from successfully farming. I don't remember a single time where this man was locked back at his turret. I don't remember.
No.
I seen the ward coverage around the mid lane. He could play so comfortably, and if he was in trouble, who was there? Masho.
victory.
And I really like how the way that that series went. Now the whole talk about emotional damage coming into the league, is those invitational winners. All the talk and all the hype was around Taylor Swift, right? We were reiterating the fact that this is an AD carry the team like to play around. But through this series, you're developing those storylines now, right? Because Dogman all of a sudden is taking the show. He's got those scaling picks. He makes it look really good. He ents and he still wins the game. I love that. We also had huge highlight plays coming through from my show. The macro, the objective control was phenomenal. And Sorenad's on that rail. I'm sorry, but I don't think we had less than 3 members in a Magnet Storm. Held on to it, got the combination, jumped in, and was just in there being a menace, right? You see that name in the health bar roaming around. You can't quite see the rail because there's so many people on top of it, but it just wouldn't fall. And when he did fall, the rest of the team was there to clear up. So I thought it was absolutely fantastic performance from EDE. They did take it to game 3, but I kind of think that if they wanted to make this a 2-0 series, without disrespect going over to Timeless Harmony, because they had some really good instances where they stepped up, they could have taken this 2-0 tonight.
It's hard to say because I mean their game number one, they had that game plan. That's what they were going for. They're trying to show a new side, or that's what they practiced, Lamb. And now they reverted back to the old. So it could be that. And I think game two, it was close. It was really close. I think Timeless Harmony should have taken it. So I mean, it looks like now, like, oh yeah, EDE was gonna win the whole time. Yeah, maybe they turned on the Jets at the end,
Hindsight, baby.
but dude, I think they should have lost 2-0 today. It should have been timeless the game. This should have been their W.
Yeah, I can kind of see that point of view as well, because look, Timeless had it in that game 2 as well. Let's not forget about that. They picked EDE had that insanely scaling composition. They had to wait till they get to the mid to late to actually come online. We were seeing multiple itemization across the board. I think they had 2 Barons, Timeless. They were on point for the Dragon Soul as well. Poor decision making in those team fights really cost them there, which was really unfortunate. So you're right. Yeah, it's not to take away the performance that they had. So ideally, either of these teams could have taken it 2-0 tonight. And that is something that going ahead for the rest of the league is amazing. And it goes to show the level of performance and the level of skill that is going to be in the next 7 weeks of the regular season. And this isn't even mentioned in the playoffs. Is going to be that much more interesting to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I'm getting a bit worried about our bet there, Lamb. I don't want to be singing.
About that, can we just cut that from
Hold
the
up,
vo-
hold up,
we'll
hold.
cut that.
Yeah,
We'll cut
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, no, there's
Yeah.
a bit of a glitch at that moment in time, so emotional damage. They're still looking like they're gonna be the number one to beat for now. They can make mistakes though. We see some blood that has been spewed
Yep.
from them, especially with that early game comp. Even emotional damage can throw a game. What does that tell you? So it's definitely a possibility that someone can take down emotional damage. They're not looking unstoppable. They're looking like the best for now.
For now is right. I'm not too sure if we're going to get an interview tonight. These games did go a little bit longer
Yeah.
because it was 3-game series, and that'll confirm. Yeah, Forrest just told us that unfortunately there'll be no interview today. So Dogman, you avoid us for now. I'd like to get his thoughts on that ending play, but look, there's still so much more to come. So if you guys enjoyed this as much as me and Crims, you need to catch us every single time, 8 EST every Wednesday for Titan Esports Conqueror League. And do you know what, Crims? I can't wait for the next 7 weeks, including I can't wait for the 10 weeks. Getting up to that final, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be an adventure, and you guys need to stay there. And we will see you next time, next week, same time.